Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the H.4.0.S Open Cup number 5, your bi-weekly dose of Polish StarCraft. I'm, of course, your Slide VIP, and with me, I am joined by potentially another CranKy Duckling in the later rounds, and also by the lovely people in the chat. Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful day of StarCraft. We already wrapped up, we already covered the IM qualifiers for the Asia server region. And now we're here with some H.4.0.S Open Cup. Let's go. It doesn't end, Bobby. The StarCraft does not end. And here we go. We're diving into our first best of 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta. We have the Polish Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing CSO Esports. It is Trifax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss, the red Protoss, representing Team Blazer. It is Ziomek. Here we go. Again, earlier today we were of course covering the qualifying matches of who would make it into IM Katowice and who wouldn't. And I guess it's within the theme, you know. Earlier, we were finding out who makes it to Poland, who can travel to the land of Polonia, and here we have players that are already in Poland. Where they're already there, Bobby. They will already be at IM Katowice, I'm sure. If not in the event itself, then maybe in the stands, in the audience, watching and enjoying the celebration of StarCraft that is upon us in the coming months. But of course, before IM Katowice, we have our lovely event here. And this also leads into another event in Poland. This is all going to be leading into the offline finals that is going to be held at the House Gaming Bar, I believe, in Warsaw. So, yeah, a lot of StarCraft going on, and it's great to see. Great to be a part of it all as well. As we settle into this game, a big shout out to Kashim, of course. Kashim, he is the brains, the person behind this event, is going to be adminning and organizing everything here for these bi-weeklies, and I'm sure we'll be a part of the live events as well in the coming months. So much love, Kashim, much love. Thank you for everything you do, for all that you are. As we're settling into this PvZ, and honestly, the bracket is pretty stacked. We have, once again, the best of the best in Poland already in the event. We have a couple of players missing. The most notable, I believe, is Spirit. I believe Spirit is missing in action. He may be just preparing for tomorrow's IEM Europe qualifier. Very possible. So without Spirit here, there are some other big Protosses, and obviously a Laser as well. The winner of this series will be facing off against a Laser in the next round. And yeah, it's all about who can bring him down, essentially. Who can stop a Laser? You know, we have players like Cristiano, Rodzin, Bapi, Geralt, all players that have taken maps. And at times series even against a Laser. And likewise, Trifax and Ziomek are no slouches either. They're all amazing players in their own right. But who can make it through? Who can gain the luxury, gain the right to face off against a Laser? For now, yet to be determined. For now, we are here to find out. As we do have a Hatchcast pull into a third base standard opener here out of Trifax. Adept is going to be shading in, but Last does not commit. So nothing too crazy, nothing too aggressive, just a standard economic opener out of Trifax. Likewise, across the map, Ziomek is going to be going for a Stargate opener himself. With his Stargate, our unit of choice is going to be the Oracle. We've been a little bit spoiled. We've been casting a lot of PvZ over the past 2 days, and God, I've been casting so much Classic, I just keep seeing Void Ray openers. Like, they're in my sleep as well, just the constant Void Rays. But we're going back to normalcy, going back to an Oracle opener instead. I appreciate it, personally. You may be thinking, isn't this normal? Isn't this what everyone does? Usually, yes, but again, over the past couple of days, it's just been non-stop Void Ray openers in PvZ, and it's a breath of fresh air. It's refreshing. I enjoy it. I like it. I like it, Poppy. I like it. For now, we're just going Stargate opener into the double Oracle into a third base. So everything, again, standard from the side of the Protoss player as well. This, a little bit less so. We have our transition, and instead of going for a Twilight Council and a Forge, which would be leading into Blink and +1, we have a Robo. Very interesting. This is looking to be very tech heavy. This could be Robo into Forge, but before I can talk about the tech, here we go. The Oracles, they get across the map. They're going to be getting 2 worker kills so far. They do one-shot drones. Oh, we do fly a little bit too close to the sun there. There is no Spore in the main base, but there are 3 Queens in position, and we will zone away those Oracles. We will force them back. So far, nice moves here out of Trifax. Does lose 3 drones, true, but he did do a lot of hull damage here to one of those Oracles. Does force it back, bearing in mind that behind this, we do not have a 3rd Oracle. We only went double Oracle, and now we have the rest of our tech. Robo into the Forge, and Twilight Council Immortal production is already commencing here. This is looking very similar to, I think Cristiano has a style like this, where it's just very tech heavy. Instead of investing into Observers and a Prism, no, we get into really early Immortal production instead, and we're kind of building up a Death Ball of an army early on. +1. Going to be working on, of course, those upgrades, and I imagine we should be seeing a Templar Archives alongside this to go into Immortal, Chargelot, and Archon. That's exactly what kind of we're working on to begin with. So, yeah, it's going to take a while for Ziomek to really get this rolling, but we're already working on it. We're already building up the army from the beginning here, and it's going to be quite a hefty army. We've seen this get out of control many times in the past, and we'll see if Trifax can get a read on what's happening. Already scouts the first Immortal. Big scout here for Trifax. He's aware of what's going on. Behind this, he should be getting into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Roach Warren is done. +1 melee is on the way. Bailey Nest is in production as well. So Trifax, tech-wise, is getting everything that he needs. And there's that Temple Archives that we're speaking of. Again, it's going to be like a big, beefy army of Immortals, Archons, Chargelots. It's going to be quite intimidating as well. Ooh, one Oracle does go down across the map. Good pick off here from Trifax. Ziomek's still looking for damage. No Spore in the main, no Queens either, but alas, we don't get on that opportunity. The Oracle's gonna get the hell out of there, and Trifax is happily droning up to 80. Jesus, so greedy here. Has been skipping roaches this entire time, droning all the way up to 80 workers. Such a greedy maneuver, but he is getting away with it, and now he can focus on roach production. And this is a really good way to take advantage of what Ziomek has been doing. Basically, because we're going into Immortals, Archons, and Chargelots, it's taking a while for this army to be active on the map. We're getting there, don't get me wrong. As we can see, we're building up our army, but because we're being so passive here, because there are no Stalkers to harass and to be aggressive and to be assertive, we even have a 4th on the way. Trifax takes full advantage of the Protoss by droning heavily. Now, you could take this one step further. We could be droning up to 80 and also throwing down a Hydra Den and an Infestation Pit, working towards a Hive and working towards Hydra Lurker Viper. That would be the way to actually completely punish this. We're only getting halfway there. You know, with a good worker count, we should be able to max out on Lingbane Roach Ravager. Not the most amazing ground army that Zerg has at their disposal against ground toss, but a good army nonetheless. Basically, Trifax should be able to max out soon, and with that max out army, his goal is to shut down either the 3rd or the 4th, or engulf the army itself. But he's out of position. He's going to be rotating over towards the south. Meanwhile, the main army pushing towards the north. Lings have spotted these Zealots at least. Here comes the Archon Immortal army of Ziomek. Trifax in a bit of trouble actually again. He has to race all the way back home. 40 Lings are in production. Looks like this hatchery may go down. But outside of, actually never mind. The Roaches, they arrive just in time. They engage with the Archons. One Archon does fall. Went down to only a handful. Where's the Prism, by the way? There's no way to reinforce. This army is so exposed. The War Prism is nowhere to be found. It went down earlier, went into the army and into the Queens. And we collapse on these Immortals. One Immortal gets picked off, and Archon as well. Ay. Yeah, again, the War Prism did just fly into the army earlier, went down preemptively, prematurely. And now suddenly Trifax is looking to snowball out of control. He's looking to try to smack down this 4th. The army has arrived. We're down to 1 Archon and 2 Immortals. The Zealot army's going to do what it can, but the Melees, they crash it, they take down the Zealots. We get on top of the Archon. And we're going to be able to clean this up. There are only 2 Immortals left. That's all there really is to this army. The Melees, they crash into the mineral line. And we're up to 3 Immortals. That's a pretty hefty amount. We are running out of Lings. At the same time, a big Zealot counterattack does arrive here at the fresh planting base of Trifax. The Lings, they do have to respect this. They back off for a moment. They get us around. Drones are going to be going down, but we killed 14 workers, and Ziomek is all in. At this point, he has to commit. He thinks about it, but he turns back around. He realizes that he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. And again, the War Prism just now arrived. Oh, we have a token Swarm Host. Swarm Host is on the way. You love to see it. Ah, hello, Pappy. Welcome. Welcome to the world. As again, behind this Trifax, you can just keep remaxing. You know, even though he may not have killed Ziomek, he essentially has. Ziomek, he's down to only a handful of units. Very high quality army. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Archons, Immortals, it's all good stuff. But the economy isn't quite there to really sustain ourselves. We don't really have the meat to this army. We have the backbone. It's a strong backbone, but a backbone on its own is lacking. Trifax will be moving on forward, collapsing on these Zealots. Do have a big warping of Zealots. The Baneling's going to be rolling on in. They do move on forward. As Trifax is breaking into the third base this time. Banelings, they crash into Archons. Not the best connections. Ooh, we're going to be able to force this back. Ziomek, he may be down in supply, but the Immortals, they go ham, and he does force Trifax back. But we have a replacement Swarm Host. Hello. The last one went down, but we have another on the way, and Ziomek, he's holding, and if he's able to take another 2 or maybe even 3 fights like that, he can maybe bounce back. In saying that, we do get a big warping of units. It's another 3 Archons. We're going to be threatening a push here towards that base. Oh, the Swarm Host! No! Is going to be forced back. At the same time, a big link counterattack. We do hit the 4th base. 4th base should be killed. Can we defend back at home? The Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. They bust into that base. It looks like Trifax should have enough to break through, especially if these links come back to defend. Oh, we do have a couple more Immortals across the map. Hatchery is going to fall. Good force fields. A lot of these roaches are going down. A pretty efficient fight here from Ziomek as he pushes out another big link counterattack here towards the 3rd base. The Swarm Host. We have another one every now and then. we get one. As one falls, another rises to take its place. The boys are being pulled as well. We are barely holding on here back at home. Meanwhile, across the map, we cripple the economy. Ziomek losing everything back at home. Good juggling, though. Oh my god. We'll be juggling our heart out here with these 3 Immortals, but alas, there's only so much that we can accomplish here. As the 3rd base falls, GG gets called, and Trifax will take game number 1. GG. Does take the first game. Ziomek was accomplishing quite a lot, actually, though. He was achieving quite a lot in that attack. Imagine if he had an economy to sustain himself, to actually warp in and reinforce that army. Imagine if that first War Prism didn't die. Remember, the first attack where the Prism did overextend and did run into Queens and just fell instantly. Like, that was a brutal moment, and if that hadn't happened, we may have seen a very different game. We may have seen a very different game there between our 2 players. But as I mentioned before, like, because Trifax was able to recognize what Ziomek was doing when it came to a specific build, Trifax was able to be quite greedy and join up to 80 immediately from that point. It was very greedy, but there was no punish. No punish there from Ziomek just because of the build of choice. And now we're getting into our next game. Game number 2. Here we go. When it comes to the bracket itself, when it comes to the overall tournament, we will go over the bracket after this series, just so we can, you know, let our players conduct their vetoes and have a moment to kind of catch our breath and keep up with everything. There's a lot to go over. We'll get there. We will get there. Catching up in the chat. Pappy versus a laser rematch, please. It's possible. They are avoiding each other in the bracket. It is possible. That was the finals of the House Open Cup a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if we can get that again. As for now, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Poland, representing CSO Esports. It is Trifax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Blazer down to the series, but not out. It is Ziomek. We go. I thought, again, big shout to Kashim. He's in the chat. He's our lovely admin and organizer of this event. Dzień dobry, Senor Kashim. No, that poor Stormhurst was brought into the world just to be fed. There were 3 of them. They were like back to back to back. Whenever one died, we just replaced them over and over again. Trifax, look after your Swarmhost, Papi. Oh, Smooch. The poor Swarmhost. But again, outside of that, again, a really nice adaptation out of Trifax. Ziomek, of course, did go for a very aggressive and tech-heavy build in that last game. Overall army composition as well. So we'll see if he does the same or if he goes in a different direction. If he goes into something a little bit more versatile and a little bit more aggressive, like Blink Stormers. For now, Gate Expand. Gate Expand into the Cybercore. Pretty standard opener here out of Ziomek. Likewise, Hatchgas pull out of Trifax. He was forced to take the unnatural natural. This will expose himself to something like Glaive Adept Harass. It's possible that we could maybe get something like that off. We'll keep an eye on the positioning of the second pylon. If it's a little bit further back, that could be indicative of a Twilight Council opener. If it's a little bit further forward, it would be Stargate. I'm never going to forgive Swarmhost for the Swarmhost meta. What do you mean? It was peak StarCraft. Oh my god. You know what's crazy to me? What's crazy is that there is a surprising amount of new viewers to StarCraft. Despite the fact that StarCraft has been around for a very, very long time, there are people that got introduced to it during Legacy of the Void. Well, one, they got introduced during Legacy of the Void when the game went free to play. But even afterwards, there was another wave of kind of new players and new viewers during COVID, during 2020. I know that was another kind of big surge of viewers and players. So there's a lot of people that like never experienced Heart of the Swarm, and they never experienced the old Swarm host. And I mean, all I can say is that, hey, if you have like a day to just do whatever you want and to invest, then it will take a day to watch like a couple of Swarm host games, because they lasted a very long time. The old Swarm host was crazy, and it's kind of weird, right? Because it led to these really very long drawn out games, insanely long and drawn out. But what was interesting at the time, I don't know if you remember this, fun fact, that was actually peak StarCraft viewership. And I think a lot of people theorize that the reason for that is basically when a game started, most people, whenever they just happen to be passing by on Twitch, and then whenever they're dropping by a tournament, and whenever they start a series, they're willing to stay until the end of this series before heading off and doing something else. So whether it's a group stage or the quarterfinals, semifinals, even round of 16, because these matches would be like a 2-hour-long series, like a 2-hour-long best of 3, or a 3-hour-long best of 5. Because once you start watching, you're invested. Like, you're in. There's no turning back. There's no turning back at all. So you would, so viewership would accumulate quite heavily over the course of the series, and yeah, as a result, those big long Swarm host games, they actually had the biggest viewership back in Heart of the Swarm. So yeah, it's an interesting fun fact. Just because over the course of that like hour, 2-hour, 3-hour long period, you would just accumulate so many viewers, and they would stick around to see how it ends. You have to know how it all ends. Yeah, just a bit of a fun fact. I know I'm being a little bit vague as to what the old Swarm host was, and we don't have to get into it. It's fine. Regardless, both Oracles going to be getting into that main base, and already 3 drones go down. We have our transition. This time, okay, winding it back. It was a Stargate opener into a third base into triple Oracle. We have 2 Oracles. We have a third one on the way. This is a much more standard opener. The follow-up tech is going to be no Robo. Like last time we saw a fast Robo, which led into the big Immortal production that we saw in game number 1. Here, Forge and Twilight Council, this should be +1 and Blink. This should be a much more standard transition into a Blink heavy style, to be a little bit aggressive, to be assertive, to get into a bit of a longer game. And there it is, Blink and +1 are on the way. So a much more standard game here out of Ziomek. As the Oracles have arrived, they're going to be getting a couple more actually. 4 workers, 8 in total, not too bad. Ziomek. Oh. Happy. Getting quite a lot done and keeping all three of his oracles alive. Trifax, of course, is droning heavily, and there's no Spore here at the natural, no Spore at the third base. He is cutting some corners, and so far, Ziomek is looking to punish him. Again, behind this, we're getting that third base fully saturated. Stalker count is slowly getting higher. Additional gateways are on the way. Ooh, how many gateways, by the way? Okay, that's going to be the 5th and 6th gateway so far. We'll keep our eye out to see if we get any more. Oracles are going to be forced back. Do they get past the Swarm Host? Find out in 54 minutes. Oh, find out next time in IM Toronto. Whatever. DreamHack Stockholm. Good times, good times. My favorite was Stefano versus Petraeus. I did watch that. I did watch all of Stefano versus Petraeus at the time. I mean, obviously I did, because Petraeus was our Oceanic representative. I think back then, Petraeus was actually living in the Mind Sandy team house, I think, at the time. I think that was after he had left Root. Regardless, we do have the Stalker army rocking up, but Blink is about to finish up in just a second. Oracle's here to support, and these things, they cannot touch these Stalkers. Ziomek gaining ground, trading quite well so far. So far, hasn't blinked, has it available. There we go, he does pull back. We get the trades here. That's 28 lings for one Stalker. Oh, the trades! The efficiency here from Ziomek, damn strong, as he's going to be reinforcing. 4th base is being taken. The forward 4th just behind the army, so we can reinforce. We can even pull back to a shield battery and an overcharge. So very aggressive stance here by Ziomek. As he's pushing on forward. Picking up a queen here and there. Again, behind this, we're getting into roaches. A bold move by Trifax. He's going to be losing the space, but he's going for a massive link counterattack, and there's nothing back home to defend. Ziomek is being forced back. We do get another big warp in back at home, but there should be a kill on this Nexus. Meanwhile, we're going to be trading a base for a base, but Trifax is already on 4 hatcheries, and he saves the hatchery. Oh my god! Just barely forces this back. Meanwhile, across the map, the Nexus did go down. And this hatchery still somehow holds strong. We just barely got a transfuse off. I mean, I say that it should die. Like it, this hatchery should die, but we'll see. As Trifax has been able to drone up to 73, a pretty solid economy here behind this. He's getting into Roach Speed, Lingbane, Roach Ravager, going to be the composition of choice for Trifax, very similar from the last game. Meanwhile, Ziomek is transitioning, still pushing in with his Stalkers, but we have Archon soon to be on the way. Charge up, and the base is gonna get picked up. There we go. That's a lot of lings. Oh my god, it's almost worth investing into another Oracle. Up the blinks, the surround. We do blink away. Do we have a shield battery? Do we have an overcharge? We do not. Going for another big warp in, but the lings are gonna full surround on these Stalkers. Ziomek blinking back towards that mineral line and reducing the surface area. He will hold on. Did lose a big chunk of Stalkers, though. That's 8 Stalkers going down. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to a Protoss army, that is quite significant. What I was trying to get at, look, it's another, the Swarm, it's back. The Swarm Host. Hello, Papi. Get out of here. It's not safe. Get out of here. Trifax, who doesn't treat you right. No. It's gonna die. What I was going to say is that I'm surprised we didn't get into Colossus. It's very common to go +1 Blink Stalkers into Colossi production, and Colossi do so well against Lingbane army compositions. Instead, we're going Charge Out Archon, and to be fair, Charge Out Archon does have its place. It can also do well as... Oh, the Locust Wave. No! Get out of here! No! The Swarm Host! Smooch! It's okay, we have another. It keeps happening. Whenever we lose one, there's another on the way. Do you think it's on purpose? If it's this consistent, I wonder. Does Trifax have something personal against the Swarm Host? He just wants to see one die at all times. Este Trifax. Oh my god. Brutal. This feels illegal. Can we like submit this replay to the Council of Zerg? To the, what do we call it? To the Zerg Cerebrus? Ay, ay, ay. And here we go. Ziomek pushing on forward again, now with some Archons. Again, they can actually provide quite a force here to buffer the Lingbane. Big stasis traps are going off. Oh my god, catching most of the Lingbane actually. A small amount of it is going to trickle on through, but we're holding strong. We have the Prism, we can reinforce, and Ziomek is gaining ground. But that all could change with the completion of these stasis traps. We could try to set up a surround. We've got another wave of Zealots. The Archons pushing on through. The Lings, they do come out. But they're getting picked off. And Jomek, he dives on top of the army. The Swarmhost, no! Get out of here! The Swarmhost is going to fall once again. Roach is coming into reinforcement. We're getting into the middle line. Drones are going down, and we have reinforcements on the way. Can we break through? We're running out of Archons. There's only 2 Archons left. The Stalkers are doing what they can, but it looks like we're down to a single Archon remaining here. Poor Jomek, he's running out of steam. Yeah, the Archon will fall. We do break through the middle line. We're getting on top of the Queens. Likewise, the Ling army here is being thinned out, and Jomek, he's content with the damage he's done. He's backing off. A very mature decision. Jomek, he killed the base, killed the middle line, and backs the hell off from here. He knows he has to just calm down, consolidate his forces, build up another wave of Archons. Plus 3 attackers on the way. Jomek, he's on 80 workers, has a 5th base. Fun fact, Jomek does have a better economy. As I say that, did I speak too soon? Because here comes a counterattack. The Lings, they get into the middle line. Roaches, they try to focus down that Nexus. They're taking a lot of hits for free here. But they will get the base. Is this worth it? We bled out a lot of units. Oh my god. We threw away so many Roaches to make that happen. At the same time, Zealots at the 4th, at the would-be 5th, and now we've triggered a counterattack. Trifax, he threw away so much supply killing that Nexus. I don't think it was worth it. And here we go, we're snowballing out of control. Here comes the army of Jomek. That's a kill, not a cancel. And we another another Swarmhost. GG gets called, and Jomek will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Now, part of me was joking when I was like, maybe he's doing it on purpose. Maybe he always wants to see a Swarmhost die. Hey, that was the 3rd Swarmhost deck. Obviously, it's you know, a little bit of butterfingers where you kind of you accidentally press the Swarmhost key when you mean to press the Roach key. It does happen quite often. There's a reason why the term token Swarmhost is a common one. You see it even at the highest level play, like with players like Solar, Dark, even in years past like Snoot and Scarlet and all these other big Zergler, Stefano. For whatever reason, I don't know why specifically it's a Swarmhost, but specifically the Swarmhost, like you'd see one made randomly in a competitive match, and that's been the case for many years. Yeah, it's just always been around in StarCraft. Interesting. It's not like you see it every series. Like, specifically this series, you're seeing it more often than not. But it's something that has permeated throughout the history of StarCraft, which is interesting to say the least. Because like Lares, yes, yeah. I would wonder why. I wonder if it's worth just unbinding. I don't know. Like, I feel, especially in current era of StarCraft, Swarmhost is such a niche unit. Obviously it has its place in ZVP. I feel like you see it in ZVP more often than not. I mean, when I say more often than not, more often than the other matchups. But I would wonder if it's worth unbinding that if it becomes too much of an issue. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Or rebinding, maybe even. But now that we're getting into this, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CSO Esports being forced into the ace match. It is Trifax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player representing Team Blazer, tying up the series in the last game. It is Jomek. I'm trying to think, like, Swarmhost is very out of date when it comes to against mech. Against mech, Swarmhosts aren't really used whatsoever. I feel like Swarmhost is very stylistic. We see players like Cham whip it out. We see Eric whip it out against Terran, against Bio-Terran of all things. We've seen Dark use it against Chargel Archon-based compositions in ZVP. Like, you see it every now and then, but it is a rare unit nowadays. Like, it isn't as relied upon as much as it once was. Like, even the new Swarmhost, there was a time a couple of years ago, I want to say 2021, 2020, where Swarmhost Nidus was a little more commonplace, especially in ZVP. Of course, over time, over the years, the meta has since shifted. With the rise of the Stargate opener, that kind of Swarm Host play did fall by the wayside, especially with Blink Stalkers as well. But that's also why I mentioned before that whenever we do see Dark Whip out Swarm Hosts against Protoss, it is specifically against Charge Archon compositions, just because Charge Archon is so immobile compared to Blink Stalkers that you can get away with going for like a Swarm Host hit squad of like 10 Swarm Hosts or 8 to 10 Swarm Hosts even. But now though, we are gonna be settling into the ace match. We made it into game 3, and my eyes are on Ziomek. Ziomek is the one it feels like he's been the one dictating the pace of the game. In game 1, of course, we had the faster Robo into an Immortal heavy composition, into an all-in. Game number 2, we saw something a lot more fluid, a lot more standard. It was triple Oracle into +1 Blink Stalker into a gateway heavy composition of Archons and Zealots. Now, something that I didn't actually get to bring up, but in that last game, that style that Ziomek was playing is that much more stronger on that map, specifically because of the rush distance. Hardlet has a very short rush distance by ground, especially if your 4th base is behind the army, that center base location. That becomes a launch pad, that becomes a staging ground to kind of send out your reinforcements and even pull back to with the shield battery and the overcharge and that kind of defender's advantage. So again, you can be very assertive on Hardlet, and again, it does kind of lend towards that playstyle. Stellaris, less so. On Stellaris, you can't be as assertive and as aggressive as we saw in that previous game. So I bring this up because I imagine that Ziomek is going to be switching it up, is going to be changing styles. So we'll see. We shall see. Swarmhost Locust have a surprisingly high DPS still. It's always weird watching a bunch of little beetles just plop down and tear a nexus apart as fast as Hydras. It can be really it can catch you off guard just how much damage they do. Like a Locust Wave, even with like a couple of seconds remaining, can just annihilate a mineral line. I think more recently we saw that what was the series? I think it was Lambo versus MaxFax in WTL. Lambo versus MaxFax in WTL on Radisson Station. Lambo did go Swarm Host against MaxFax, and specifically on Radisson Station, because your natural base is exposed. If you're familiar with the map, you would know that the mineral line is kind of exposed to the rest of the map, so Swarm Host waves would come, or Locust waves would come in, and it wouldn't take long at all to kill workers, to kill shield batteries, and yeah, to get damage done. That is the most recent example of like Swarm Host being impactful in the game that I remember. Again, that was MaxFax versus Lambo. How long ago was that? That was like 2 months? Like 2 months ago at this point? Maybe a month and a half? Been a while. But for now, we have our follow-up. It's going to be Stargate Opener, Oracle into a 3rd base, and then we have a Twilight Council, no Forge. Glaive Adepts are on the way here for Ziomek. Before we can talk about the Glaives, though, we do have a big Ling counterattack, actually. We invested surprisingly heavily here into these Lings. Trifax, he's looking for a surround of these Adepts, and he will get the surround, but the Oracle was not too far away. There we go. We have the activation of the Pulsar Beam. The 3rd base should be safe and sound, and I'm concerned because Trifax is droning. We have a Roach One on the way, thankfully, but he needs to get a read on what's going on. He has yet to see anything. He hasn't seen the main base, is unaware of how much danger he's in, but thankfully, Trifax is making a wave of Lings. We have 14 Lings in production. They are on the way. Adepts have been spotted. Now we have Roaches. Big scout here from Trifax. He's aware of what's going on. He sees the Adepts moving across the map, and he is getting in position. Queens have arrived. They're going to be meeting up here with these Adepts. Good transfuse. Managed to hold on to Adepts. They do commit to the shade into the main base. Where are the Lings? The Lings, they should have been here a little bit late to the party. Drones are going down. Bearing in mind, though, there's no Warp Prism, there's no reinforcements. These Adepts, they are being cleaned up, but not before killing, what is that, 8, 9, almost 10 drones. 11. Oh no. No! We're getting even more done. This is becoming too much. 15, an entire mineral line. The Oracle comes in to clean up. The Queens are out of position. No Spore Crawler whatsoever. We saw this in the previous games. Trifax is one to cut corners. No Spore here at the natural. There is a Spore at the 3rd, but alas, was punished for it. That's 21 dead workers. 22. Wait, we keep going. Oh my god. Someone stop that Oracle. The drones, they just want to go to work. 24 kills. Ay, ay, ay. And that is borderline game-ending damage. Almost 2 mineral lines worth of drones have gone down. And back at home, we're transitioning. Now, this is an interesting transition, though. The immortal... Oh my god. Calm down, Bobby. A very odd transition, actually. So, usually what we would see is immortal production, yes, but we would go into blink and +1. Instead, we're going into charge, and I believe we do not have a forge. Yeah, no forge here from Ziomek. This is very peculiar. So we're going from Glaive Adepts into Charge Lot Archon Immortal. Because there's no forge, this feels like a 3-base all-in. We do have 5 gates on the way in addition to the 4 that we already had, so it's going to be 9 gates in total. Never mind, 10 gates in total because that was 6 gateways in production. So it's looking like a 3-base, 10-gate all-in. Again, my assumption for calling it an all-in is just because, sure, we don't have a 4th base, but no forge. No forge means that this army doesn't really have a lot of longevity getting into the mid-game. And there it is. War Prism is on the way. It is a 3-base all-in. Prism is going to be coming out to reinforce, and we are looking to try to smack Trifax down. I mean, just stop him from getting back up. Trifax's economy has been crippled. Right now, he's been droning. He's been droning very heavily to recover from his losses. Now he's focusing on his army, but so is Ziomek. And we'll see how this turns out. 4th base is on the way. It is going to be spotted. The army of Trifax is heading over here to try to deny this, to try to cancel. Ziomek, he does have to respond, and he's going to be keeping his main army hidden. He's only reacting with these zealots. Zealots are coming in. They're going to be able to force this back. Here comes our War Prism, and we should be moving out with the army. Again, the 4th base is peculiar to me. The Prism being rallied across the map, taking a lot of hits. Oh my god, taking a lot of hull damage even. And Ziomek, are we pushing? I'm still a little bit unnerved just because of this 4th base, which does tell us that he wants to make workers. And here we go. Here comes the push. It's all coming together. Now that Prism did take a lot of damage, so it's very vulnerable. Trifax, he has maxed out. Did Ziomek miss his timing? Did you see Roach is going to be slowing down the Zealot run by? 1 Archon goes down already. We're going to try to break on through. Those 3 Immortals putting in a lot of work in the back line. Is 3 Immortals enough? I'm a little bit concerned. But here we go. We're trying to break on through. We do have a couple of Zealots coming in. Ziomek missing some Warpins. We have almost 2k minerals in the bank. We have 10 gateways. Where are the Warpins? There we go. Now we have some Zealot reinforcements, but every single Archon goes down. Ziomek fumbling the ball a little bit with this attack. He's going to be forced back. This attack was not in. He did kill a base, but it looks like Trifax is going to clean this up. He's going for a big counterattack, and now Ziomek is in a lot of trouble. He has a 4th base. It's not saturated. The 4th base is going to go down. Again, no upgrades with this either. I'm pretty sure this was designed to be an all-in, and with it failing, we have Trifax coming in. And again, it does feel like Ziomek was missing Warpins. Like, we did have a lot of minerals in the bank. Things were looking a little bit disjointed there. It was a good start. Don't get me wrong. Like, the Glaive Adepts and the Oracles as well did so much damage. But the follow-up here, GG gets called. Trifax has far too many roaches, and Trifax will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. And you know what I didn't see that game? Where were the Swarm Hosts? That game, I did not see a token Swarm Host. Trifax just, really tying it up there, really hammering it home. Does take the win in the end. It was a really good start, a really strong start from Ziomek. I would say that the Glaive Adept's opener, the Glaive Adept follow-up and the Oracle Harass, it did more than enough damage. It was beautiful. The follow-up was lacking though. Again, it did feel like the 4th base was interesting to me. Maybe he was trying to fake out his opponent with a 4th and hoping that Trifax would overdrone. If you remember, intentionally, it did feel like we were hiding the Archons and hiding the Immortals intentionally against his opponent, but yeah, in the end, it did feel like the attack was a little bit late and it was a little bit lacking, and it did fall in its face in the end. Unfortunately, it was a good start, but the finishing there for Ziomek was not quite enough, up to snuff. And yeah, with that, GG. GG, well played. Ooh, Trifax will advance on to his next opponent. He's going to be facing off against a laser. Let's go. And we can take this moment to have a look at the bracket. One moment here as we quickly switch our scenes. We quickly do switch our scenes over and catch up on everything that has been going on. Let's go. Oh my god, as the entire first round has concluded already. Oh my god, we have a lot of updates here. From the top, we have our updates. We have Trifax, of course, taking down... Oh. Just messaging our players. Trifax advancing on to face off against a laser in the second round in a ZVZ. Ooh, quite a spicy ZVZ, might I add. So we're going to be diving on that next. Below them, we have Cristiano taking down Mishu 2-1. Did go to the ace match. Impressive. Mishu, Papi. I was keeping my eye on that series and did go the distance, so impressive. Cristiano is one of the best Protoss in all of Poland, so for Mishu to take a game, not an easy feat. Not easy whatsoever. As Cristiano advances on, he's going to be facing off against Rodzin in the next round. Rodzin did take down Seraphit in that round of 16. So we have a PvP going on in the quarterfinals. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have a Geralt advancing on over Herolit? Unfamiliar with the name. Going to be facing off against Snogstar in the quarterfinals. That's going to be a PvZ. Snogstar did 2-0 Chicken Finger. I've yet to experience Chicken Finger, and I want to. There's some memes around Chicken Finger, and I want it, Bobby. I want it. But Geralt versus Snogstar, it's going to be a solid PvZ going on there as well. I believe the current plan is to cast a laser versus Trifax, and then we're going to be going down to Geralt versus Snogstar, and then we'll be getting into the semifinals. Both semifinals matches will be covered. They will be casted. And at the very bottom of the bracket, we have Aristry 2-0ing Matrix and Papi 2-0ing Rumbuzz in the round of 16. So here we go. The big names have it advanced on. The only big name here that's missing is Jomek, as I mean, that did go to the ace match. That's why we dove onto Trifax versus Jomek. We knew that that would go the distance, that it would be a good series. Solid. So yeah, we have our round of 8. We have our quarterfinals. A laser versus Trifax, Cristiano versus Rodzin, Geralt versus Snogstar, and Papi versus Aristry. I mentioned before that we are missing Spirit. Unfortunately, there is no Terran representation. It's one of those things where there aren't very many Terran players in Poland anymore, but the ones that we have are the best, right? Like Spirit's, I would say Spirit is the best player in Poland. A laser was the best for quite some time, and Nurture before him, but I do think that this year specifically, Spirit has popped off, and we have casted a lot of Spirit versus a laser in these Polish events, and usually Spirit does come out on top. Usually Spirit is the dominant force in the region. But he's not here. He's not here today. Spirit is maybe just kind of recovering and getting ready for the IEM qualifiers tomorrow. Maybe just taking a bit of a break here and allowing some of these other players to step up instead. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see who can make it through. We'll see if anyone can bring down a laser. Because sure, I was giving some praise to Spirit, but a laser, likewise, is the best Zerg player in Poland and is going to be the favored player for this tournament. Now, we have seen him go down to some of these Protoss players and even Zerg players before. We have seen Trifax take a laser to the ace match and almost beat him. This was at the start of the year. At the start of the year, we casted them in the previous map pool. I remember the game on... Oh god, it wasn't Moondance, it was Stargazers, that's it. It was a laser versus Trifax on Stargaze. It was beautiful. It was amazing. So Trifax, he has gotten very close to beating the laser in the past. So it's not going to be an easy road here for a laser. Likewise, Cristiano has beaten a laser before, Geralt has done so, Papi has taken a laser to the ace match. That was a couple of weeks ago in House Open Cup number 3, I think it was number 3. So yeah, again, they've all had their go at him. We'll see if anyone can stop him this week. Now we're catching up. Now we are catching up. Don't be a worker. Not under Trifax's control. Ay, ay, ay. Go. As we're settling into our next game, and oh my god, I forgot to change the title. There we go. Beautiful. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Polish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing CSO Esports. It is Trifax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the best Zerg player in all of Bologna representing Team Liquid. It is a Laser. Here we go, a Laser looking to make a deep run, looking to take the entire event. Can he be stopped? Trifax on a good day, I believe he can, but everything has to go right for him. He has to be on point. We can't see any token swarm host this time. We need it to be able to be, again, in his best shape, in his best form as we can be to take down a player of the caliber of a Laser. And are we there today? Are we there? For now, hatch gas pool, standard openers here from both Trifax and a Laser. Everything looking as it should. Talking a little bit about the map, I should say that we are loading into Golden Aura. It is a very short rush distance by ground. You can be very aggressive. Things can kind of shift one way or another very quickly. It doesn't take too long at all to get across the map. In saying that, though, a lot of these bases are very defendable, especially this linear third base. The ramp coming into the base itself is very narrow. It's very easy to defend on 3 bases in every matchup, essentially. The 4th is a little bit more exposed, and things can get a little bit more awkward at that point, but typically your 3-base setup is quite secure here in ZVZ. I'm curious if our players try to be a little bit more assertive and aggressive. We have seen some Zerg players try and play 2-base here, just because, again, the natural is also very defendable. So not the worst map to try to play 2-base. We'll see. We'll see what our plan is. I do think that the onus, for the most part, is on Trifax. The onus is on our blue Zerg player to try to catch a Laser off guard, whether it's with an all-in, whether it's with maybe even hidden tech or something a little bit more aggressive. I feel like a Laser should be feeling pretty comfortable coming into this, and all the pressure, or a lot of the pressure, is on Trifax. Here we go. So now Trifax is going to be taking his 3rd. So far, no 2-base play from either player. 3rd bases are soon to be taken. So hatch gas pool into a 3rd. Everything is looking normal. Everything is looking very macro-oriented. Behind this, we should be seeing some Baneling Nest thrown down from both Trifax and a Laser. Skipping a Baneling Nest can be a very terrifying thing to do. Not impossible, but you know, you do leave yourself a little bit vulnerable. Baneling Nest is on the way. A Laser's is going to be delayed here as we... Ooh, delayed a little bit further. Oh my god, almost getting a kill in that drone. Nice control here from Trifax. Likewise, the Laser does keep that worker alive. Can he keep this one alive? Looks like he should. Just barely. On 4 HP. Both these drones were 1 shot away from going down, so very clutch control there out of a Laser, keeping everything alive. His Baneling Nest is delayed by a couple of seconds, but isn't the biggest of deals. We'll see if we can maybe make use of that window. Unlikely, though, as the Baneling Nest should still finish up, and there shouldn't really be too much of an issue here for a Laser. Baneling Nest for Trifax is done. Safety Banelings are in production. For the most part, Trifax is droning. Likewise, a Laser making a wave of lings, I'm sure just to be safe, and there we go. Droning from both players. Both players just macroing on up, getting into their 3-base economy. Another interesting thing to take note of here is that a Laser has opted not to make safety banelings yet. So technically a Laser, he has more gas at his disposal. And there we go. We have a Roach Warren on the way from both players, both Laser and Trifax. Trifax does hide his Roach Warren behind his mineral line, so it's going to take a little bit more effort to get a read on what's going on from the side of a Laser. But again, technically gas-wise, a Laser is slightly ahead, but Trifax, he only made 1 defensive baneling. Oh no! Oh my god. don't want to waste it. But he only made 1, and there we go. We have the lair in production. A Laser going for a much faster lair, which means a much faster roach speed. Link comes in for a scout, and Trifax will see everything in the main. Gets eyes on the timing of the lair. The gas is being taken, and we have more Lings on the way trying to punish this 3rd, but we are in position. And a Laser holds onto that 3rd base. And Laser has actually gotten away with quite a lot of droning. I'm a little bit surprised here. Laser, he's up 5 workers compared to his opponents. It looks like maybe Trifax did get supply blocked a little bit earlier on, so yeah, his droning hasn't been as clean as his opponents. So far, Laser, macro-wise, he is just taking a lead. Head in those workers, we do have Overlord speed in production, Roach speed +1 range as well. Trifax is just going to be 1 step behind. When I say 1 step though, really I should say half a step. So slightly delayed +1 range, slightly delayed Roach speed as well from Trifax. There is a window where a laser is going to be up in upgrades, but that's a small window. As we do see Trifax taking a 4th. And a laser actually opting to go for, let's go, a Dropper here. I did notice Overlord speed in production, and typically you wouldn't get Overlord speed without good reason, so yeah, the drop play is upon us. Ling's getting across the map. We do focus down 2 of those drones. Good pickoffs. It's going to be on Trifax to defend. Can he keep up? Again, we have Roach's head for the main base. 4th base being taken. Looks like a laser, he's done droning. Typically you want to get up to 3 base saturation. From here, nothing but roaches. Trifax doing the same, but again, he did lose a couple of extra drones. Oh, and we don't have an Overlord in position to scouts. Aye. Trifax getting caught with his pants down. The roaches, they go straight for the main base, and Trifax is out of position. This queen is going to go down, and we're going to get some worker kills. And in a mirror matchup, this is brutal. Drones are going down at the same time. Lings are here at the 4th base. Trifax is being pulled apart. Oh, and he still has quite a bit of catching up to do as well. Trifax forced to keep some roaches here in his main base. He's Lings wreaking havoc at the 4th as well. You can see that he's a little bit paranoid. He doesn't want to move out of position. He wants to make sure he's able to protect his 4th. But we're amassing a lot of units here. We're missing some injects as well because of some of those dead queens. The queens are trying to keep up with the overlords, which is why no injects, no army, and a laser has completely just, overcome Trifax. Pulled them apart left and right, hitting this 3rd base. And a laser, he's snowballing out of control. GG gets called. A laser takes game number 1. In a pretty dominant fashion there. That was a solid game there out of a laser. Again, like that drop alert. Oh, sorry, I should fix this up. Beautiful. That drop lord play basically won a laser the game because it wasn't scouted. It wasn't just getting damage done, but I don't know if you saw, we only had 3 queens. We had 1 queen to inject each base. And when the drop lord arrived and when it killed 1, the other 2 were actually dragged over to focus down the Overlord for some anti-air, and because that was happening, that meant no injects. It meant that the macro and the production was impacted negatively for Trifax, and the laser just surpassed him heavily there. Like we saw, Trifax had a big bank, and it's not because like he couldn't spend his money. He didn't have the larva to spend his money. Yeah, was just torn apart there. GG, well played. With that, a laser does take a lead in this series, and he needs 1 more to take it in the end. Trifax, we need a fight back here and now. Game 1, for the most part, had a very passive start, had a very passive, even early mid-game. We need to see something different here. I feel like we do, and here we go, Trifax. We're loading into Game 2. It's going to be on Site Delta. Interesting. Okay, so not really a small map. Site Delta is actually a pretty defendable map as well. There's a ramp coming into the natural base, so you can be very secure on 2 bases. So we could try to get into 2-base play on a map like this. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Wouldn't be opposed to getting to a fast lair. I'm curious. Curious to see what we have in store for us. So we're loading in to Game 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Polish Zurich player representing CSO Esports down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Trifax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zurich player representing Team Liquid. It is a laser. And a laser looking comfortable in Game 1. That's why I'm curious, where are we going to be taking us in Game 2? Trifax, where will you take us? How will we adapt? How will we adjust? Trifax has played aggressively in the past. is not afraid to cut workers into a big roach push as well. But again, I don't know how I feel about aggression on side Delta. Does have a longer rush distance, longer especially compared to Golden Aura. That's another big reason why Laser was able to snowball out of control on Golden Aura. Is I mentioned at the start of the game that it doesn't take long at all once you get momentum to just assert yourself, push out, and just snowball out of control. Everything's on a knife's edge on Golden Aura just because of how small and how congested it is. Side Delta is the opposite. Side Delta, very long, very big, very wide. A lot of these bases are spread out. So there are a lot of bases to be taken, but it can be difficult to defend your third and your fourth base, and even your natural at the same time. We have seen many players in a lot of matchups struggle to defend their bases and be pulled apart by harassment and by aggression. But that's once we get up to 4 bases. Your initial 3-base setup, a little bit harder to break. We'll see. For now, hatch gas pool opener from both Trifax and Laser. No early gases, no early spawning pools. Nothing out of the norm yet. No 15-15, which we have seen on site Delta. A 15-15 opener is basically when you delay your gases by quite a lot and you get into 2-base play. You skip link speed and get into roaches. But now though, again, link speed is on the horizon. Our scouting links are moving out. Oh. Trifax getting some nibbles in, but actually opts to chase instead of going for a scout of his own. Interesting choice. Laser dipping in. Confirms the third. Rotate around. Safety bailiness on the way from a Laser. And we should be seeing the same from Trifax. It should already be thrown down, so it is a little bit delayed from our blue Zerg player. Maybe intentionally. I mean, it has to be intentional at this point, and there it is. We see why. That is 20 Lings in production. Trifax, he's going for a Ling Flood. There's the bailiness on the way. Very late, might I add. Very delayed. But again, Trifax is looking to be the aggressor. This is going to be a little bit scary for Trifax, I would say. Sure, we have a lot of Lings. That's cool. That's great and all. But a Laser's going to have some Banelings. He will be able to defend here. It's going to be on Trifax to avoid these Banelings and to trade well against them. But now, not a bad fight here from Trifax. The reinforcements are on the way. The Banelings are about to finish up, by the way. They're coming out. Oh! They do arrive, and it looks like one of those, not a single Baneling does get triggered prematurely. We do push forward. We do force this back. And Trifax is holding. Sorry, a Laser's holding. Behind this, Trifax is actually droning up quite heavily. He's hoping to force an overreaction, and so far he is. Trifax has gone away with additional workers, but we need a defensive Baneling, otherwise we could die to a counterattack. As the game is going to be settling from here. A Laser, he didn't lose any drones, but he lost them in a different way because he just wasn't droning. He invested quite heavily into all these Lings. We have Banelings on the way, but these Banelings, they feel late. Uh oh. And here we go. How the turns do table. A Laser now looking to be the aggressor. It's going to be on Trifax to minimize his losses. Behind this, a Laser droning heavily, actually. Oh, the Banelings! Oh, a Laser with some miscontrol. 3 Banelings go down almost for free. Trading with a handful of Lings, and the last Baneling is going to go down as well. Uh-oh. And from here, Trifax, he can't push. Doesn't have eyes on the other side of this wall, so a bold maneuver here from Trifax. Where are the Banelings? We can bring them over. As he will be winning this fight nonetheless, forcing this army back. The Banelings, they will stay at home. And a Laser, he has gotten away with so many workers here. He's fully saturated on 3 bases. Again, I do think we could have pushed out with those Banelings. Roaches are arriving. And a Laser, he's getting into roach play. Trifax, it's taking him a little bit too long here to get into his own drones. So we're done with the Ling Bane portion of the game. We're getting into roach v roach. I do think Trifax had an opportunity, but it did pass him by. And now the game is going to be settling. A laser, he's going for a fourth, so is Trifax. Not another Bailey. As a laser, he's been able to mine more for longer. A laser was the first to hit that 60 worker count. So Trifax is playing catch up. Because of the better economy that is reflected in the army supply, that's why a laser has a higher supply in general. He was able to get into roach production a lot sooner. So again, a Zerg player able to get away with droning here in ZVZ is a pretty insane thing. That can just snowball out of control. We got Overlord Speed on the way, another Dropperlord in production here for a laser. He wants to go for the same move. He wants to try to pull apart the attention of Trifax. Likewise, Trifax doing the same. Here we go, Dropperlords are moving out from both players. Again, we don't really have Dropperlords in position here to scout for either player, really. Overseer's coming in. Roach production underway. We are catching up with +1 range. And here we go, the Roaches, they are still moving out, actually. Trifax, he gets into the main first, but there are Queens in position. Drop the Roaches! No! Oh, we just barely dropped 2, but 2 more went down at the same time. Here comes the Roach counterattack of a laser. Lings, they break into the natural. Roaches into the main. Queen is going to be going down. And once again, Drone's going to be falling as well. Oh, as I say that, actually, no drones fall. Nicely handled there by Trifax, going for a second Dropperlord into the natural. Queens once again getting in position. Dropperlord's going for the third, actually. We could get damage done, but here comes the main army of a laser. Trifax down in supply. Actually, sorry, it's not Roaches, it's Bailings. We try to get to the mineral line, but a good split here from a laser does avoid the damage. Only 2 workers go down. So many of them are so low in the red. So close, yet so far. Trifax has to be very careful. He's still trying to catch up in the roach count. Laser going to be able to pick up some of these Ravagers. Gets one. One Ravager. Additional Roaches in production. Laser is the first to max out, and he will be the first to get into +2. We have Burrow Tunneling Claws on the way. A Queen goes down in the main. These Roaches are being cleaned up. Ooh, we save one. Barely do save one of them. A couple of free hits in. Lasers looking to break through. Setting out a squad of Roaches. Likewise, Trifax doing the same, going for his own Roach counterattack. Can Trifax keep up? Splitting up his Roach's laser. He does see the run by. Likewise, so does Trifax. There's a Spine Crawler in position. It's going to be buying some time. And a laser, he should be able to clean this up. Burrow is done, but we have detection. And these Roaches will be shut down. So a more efficient trade here from a laser. Likewise, its Roach army is going to be chased. Trifax going right through the center, actually. Trifax cannot take this fight. He has to back off. Meanwhile, when we do push through the middle of the map, we do catch some Roaches. But likewise, Trifax has to be careful to be surrounded. We'll have to pull back. Again, 2 skirmishes going on. Trifax, it looks like he's going to be winning here on the right-hand side, but back at home, does he have enough? Yeah, laser, he's gaining ground. Tries to push on through. Wow, so it looks like they did connect. Oof. They're connecting towards the end here as well. Trifax is trying to keep up. The reinforcements are on the way. Have we been hitting our injects? Trifax, he has a bank. We have not. Injects have not been hitting. Missing here at the natural, here at the third. Did get the fourth at least. Oh no, Queen, where are you going? No. Oh, that's why. Oh, I see. Because of the inject method, fun fact, we have 3 queens and 4 bases. So this queen here was supposed to inject at the natural, but actually is heading here towards the 4th base. Because of how it was queued up. So yeah, the queens, you can see that they're actually like running between the bases to inject, which is impacting the larva and impacting the production here of Trifax. Aye, aye, aye. Here we go. Do have a laser pushing right through the left-hand side. Oh no, we're catching a queen! No! Not like this! Do you see Trifax pushing through towards the north? Getting caught out though. Laser moving towards that 3rd base. And looks like a laser, he may just have too much here. Yeah, he has the better concave. And he's getting into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Decent files, but we also have roaches here on the left-hand side. 11 workers falling. Still more economic damage done here. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Trifax trying to get his own damage done as well. I mean, he's defending. He's forcing this back, but he may lose a hatchery. Meanwhile, across the map, Trifax trying to break through. Barely unable to. These roaches being so annoying. A whole position. We get a kill. The 4th base goes down. As well as 15 drones. Trifax dropping in the economy. No. And you can see here that these tunneling claw roaches are being so annoying to deal with. Both players are taking up into hydras and lurkers, but oh, actually a laser taking some vials to the face. A flag going Trifax's way at the same time. He's trying to break through on the right hand side. He can fight. He can push through. Yeah, on both ends. Roaches are falling. This main army fight, though, could go a laser's way. He does have the slightly better concave. Never mind. Here comes the reinforcements. The vials. Oh, they barely graze the army. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have gone into the mineral line. Looks like the reinforcements are enough. Trifax is being cleaned up. Yeah, all these roaches are going down. There was potential. We almost got into that mineral line. We almost killed all those workers. Or we did get into that mineral line. But as a result of laser, he's up 11 drones. Trifax, he does have, or he is rebuilding his bases. He's trying to squeeze out a couple of workers. We're getting into lurker play. But the laser, again, he's had the better economy for longer. He's remaxing faster. He's already got hydras, and he will soon have lurkers. Things have been getting really chaotic, and they continue to get chaotic here as roaches they tunnel into the natural and the main. Ugh. And Trifax is not in position. Just too much chaos here. Drones going down all over the place. It's going to be 8 worker kills. Aye, aye, aye. 9 even. And a laser, he has maxed out. This game was pretty back and forth, and if you remember, even before the Roach portion of this game in the Link Bane, I do think that Trifax was actually trading better. I do think that he had a lot of opportunities here, but alas, towards the end, has been pulled apart. Just could not keep up. We do have a couple of lurkers. Trifax is a lurker of his own. Having a better fight as a result, but we have the concave. The hydras are coming in, and Trifax, his army is crumbling. We're running out of steam, running out of units. Lurkers, they're gonna go down. GG gets called, and a laser. He breaks on through. He will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, this laser will advance on here into the next round. And my condolences to Trifax. Again, game 1 was a little bit more one-sided. Here in game 2, a little bit more back and forth. But alas, his tournament run does end here in the quarterfinals. GG. And as we wrap up this best of 3, a big shout out to Juggernaut Jason in the chat. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session, I'm assuming. Hope you had a good time. For those that are tuning in, welcome to the CranKy Ducklings. Quack. Welcome to the H.4.0.S Open Cup. For those that are curious, this is a Polish-only tournament. All the players that you see before you here today are from the land of Poland, of Polonia, papi. Again, this is a bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks we do host this event. I say we, Kashim hosts this event. And if you're wondering what is house even, want to pronounce it correctly, it is a gaming bar. It's a gaming bar in the capital of Poland, and they actually have hosted offline StarCraft events. They've hosted offline events in the past for StarCraft, and they continue to host them. There is going to be an offline finals at the end of the year. But before the finals, of course, in the gaming bar itself at the venue, they are hosting these online bi-weekly tournaments, and you do gather points throughout the course of these weeks. You gather points and you get invited to the event itself, which will be in a couple of months. I think it's in January. I don't think we have a set date yet, but you know, around January, maybe February, the event will be held. So a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to, as we are going to be getting ready for our next series. Again, congratulations to Laser. He advances on, and we have some catching up to do. Should be January, no specific date. There we go. As we switch our scenes over, it looks like we have our first semifinals ready for us. It's going to be Cristiano, who 2-0'd his opponents, up against Trifax. What am I saying? Laser, who 2-0'd Trifax, up against Cristiano, who 2-0'd Rodzit. Again, Cristiano, he did come in as the favorite player, so we do have a ZVP in those semifinals. But before we can get into that ZVP, we have another quarterfinals match. We're going to be getting into Geralt versus Snogstar. Let's go. And I need a moment to get ready for that. Just quickly setting up the players. Beautiful. We go. So I believe Aristri versus Papi. That is the final series at the bottom of the bracket. I believe that is currently ongoing. I think they're going to be playing out their series at the same time that we are covering our quarterfinals match. Those two will be happening at the same time. And here we go. The vetoes are done. You can hear the beeps as we are getting into our last quarterfinals match. After this, we should be getting into a Laser versus Cristiano. So plenty of Zerg versus Protoss. We spoke about this earlier, but I guess I should reiterate, especially because I know Jason, he's a Terran player, so there may be a lot of Terran fans in the chat. There aren't that many Terran players in Poland. Obviously, the big one, the best one, is Spirit, but Spirit isn't here this week. He has won many editions of this weekly tournament, or this bi-weekly tournament before. I believe the first and the third, if I'm not mistaken. So Spirit, he's got a lot of wins under his belt, but he is not here this week. He's unavailable, which means it's mainly Zerg and Protoss. So if you're looking for some Terran action, I apologize. We don't have a Terran for you here. Not today, not in this edition. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the cheesiest Zerg player in all of Poland, representing Team MY Fixed. It is Snogstar. Going for the 12 pool. Not just the 12 pool, by the way. We have a proxy hatch on the way alongside the drone has arrived. We're going to be waiting a little bit longer here, just waiting for those minerals to catch up, waiting for that 300 mineral count. Probe is coming in for a scout, and we will soon be able to go right for that hatch block here as a part of the wall. Oh, Probe is coming in. We're in position. Oh, the wall is thrown down. We throw down the forge even. Geralt's reading Snogstar like a book. The hatchery is going to be placed, but was delayed by a moment there, and again, wasn't able to disrupt this wall the way that he wanted to. So again, a good reaction out of Geralt. As a reminder to what I just said, Snogstar, he has a reputation in Poland. He's pulling the boys! Snogstar, he has a reputation. Again, he is the cheesiest player in the region, and he has caused upsets. He has caused upsets in the past. But Geralt, reading him like a book, throws down the forge, starts up the cannons, will soon be starting up those cannons, forces a cancel on the hatchery. Blings, they try to get us around. The drone does mineral walk past the army, past the zealot. Drones are on the other side. They're going to try to focus down that cannon. The zealot stands strong. Zealot barely goes down. Hatchery on the way in the main even. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the drones were pulled earlier, but it looks like we pulled back. It looks like Snogstar, he did change his mind. Looks like we're going to be able to get a pylon, but this cannon does finish. With the completion of this cannon, how do we break in? We don't. Snogstar's droning. It looks like this rush has concluded. Can we get a cancel? We do barely cancel in time. We did force a lot of lost mining time, as Geralt, he has yet to expand. Warp Gate has been delayed. He was forced to wall off and to throw down a cannon and a forge. Snogstar, he's going to try to transition out of this, but it's going to be a long road to recovery here. Again, Snogstar, he's still behind in drones. He's now taking a gas geyser, but his gases are, of course, heavily delayed. It's, yeah, going to be quite a trek here. Snogstar, is he double expanding? Oh my god, he is. Well, that's the way to do it. So we are taking a very fast third base here from Snogstar. Again, he has to try to cut corners. He has to try to be as greedy as possible. Overlord is being caught out. Not like this. We can't afford to be supply blocked. Overlord is going to go down. Adept shades into the main. Good positioning behind that mineral wall. We get one drone before recalling back home. The Overlord did go down. No shot. We're going to get a second Overlord. Is this just game? This is too much. This is far too much here. Again, Snogstar, he has such limited resources available. This Overlord is going to go down. One of us. One more. Ooh, as we do snipe it. Behind this, Stargate's on the way. This should be for Oracles, but we could even go for Void Rays just to hunt down even more Overlords. There it is. Oracle is in production. Snogstar going to try to chase this down, but the Stalker does make it back home to the safety of that shield battery. Sorry, safety of the cannon. Yeah, GG is going to get called. It's just too much to recover from, and Geralt will take game number 1. Ooh. GG. Again, I appreciate the initiative from Snogstar, but this is the problem, especially when you garner a reputation. When you play a certain style for a little bit too long, people get wise to you. And again, Geralt, he was so quick to throw down that forge, so quick to wall off and to get that cannon going. Again, a really good reaction to Geralt. I'm sure mentally he was prepared, and yeah, as soon as he saw the missing hatchery, as soon as he saw the opener, went straight for it. GG, well played. Solid play there from Geralt. And we'll see what else Snogstar has up his sleeve. You know, I was calling him the cheesiest player. I should be expecting aggression and cheese of some kind. But he doesn't just have to go for these like 12 pools and proxy hatches. Nah, he's got plenty more available. I'm sure. I'm ready for it. Let's go. As we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Poland as well, representing Team NY Fixed. It is Snogstar. Okay, this time not going for a 12 pool, but that is a gas first. A very aggressive opener here from Snogstar. This could lead into one of two things. This could be a roach rush, could be a Bane Bust, or it could be a Link Flood. We'll see. We'll see how this gas is utilized, and whether we stay in gas past 100, and what we invest in. We'll see. Regardless, aggression is on the way. Geralt, he has yet to scout the main base. He's in the dark. Drone is revealed. Geralt, he's more concerned with denying the natural base. He has yet to see if it's a 12 pool, how early the spawning pool is, how late it is, how early the gases are. Geralt is still in the dark. He's going to be checking. He does confirm the natural at least. Does confirm that his opponent is expanding. That's merely a piece of the puzzle. And the probe is going to be coming in, and we'll get confirmation the spawning pool is just now finishing, and the gases have been mined for quite some time. And we have our answer. Snogstar, he has gotten 100 gas, and he's pulling out. Okay, he does pull out for a moment, then he pulls back in. So, trying to feed his opponent a little bit of misinformation there, making it look like he was only getting fast link speed. Link speed is on the way, but we pull back in and we go straight for the Roach Warren. So it is going to be a Roach Rush. Again, there was a lot on the table, either like link speed and then we just pull out and focus on mineral income. Could have gone into a Bailey Nest or that Roach Warren. Technically, we could have also gone for like a fast lair. That would have been crazy. That would have been wild. It would have been like fast 2-base, like a Nidus all in, or drop. Well, actually, Dropper Lords, we've seen that before. Fast Dropper Lords. But again, as we can see, roaches are in production. Meanwhile, behind this, Geralt, he's getting ready. He's walling off. Is going to be a Stargate opener. Shield battery is thrown down just to fully wall off. And the Adept across the map doesn't see too much. Does see a Ling, but is racing back home. I believe we haven't seen the Roach Warren. Geralt, he's not fully aware of what's going on. And it's going to be an all-in. Snogstar, he expanded, yes, but he is not droned. He hasn't made a single worker in quite some time. It's not going to be just Lings and Roaches, it's going to be Ling Ravager. The goal here, the Ravagers are going to be piloting down the wall. They're going to create an opening, and then the Lings, they flood on in afterwards. There it is, we have a Shield Battery, second pylon. Void Ray is on the way. Geralt, he knows. He has spotted the Roaches, he's aware of what's going on. Oh my, we just barely wall off in time. We do get the Adepts out of there. Gateway's on the way, but we're going to be able to bile it down. Ooh, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel. And the Lings, they bust into the natural. There is a Shield Battery. There is an overcharge. We barely do pop it. But we go straight for the Shield Battery. And it is going to be focused down. But the Void Ray arrives just in time. We're gaining ground. We're breaking through. But with the arrival of this Void Ray, we'll eventually clean this up. We focus down the Ravagers. Lings, they're getting into the mineral line, but we're running out of steam. The Biles. Oh my god. They connect. The Void Ray taking a lot of damage. The Lings, they get cleaned up in the main base. We're down to one Ravager left, only a handful of Lings, and this is not enough. We do get a couple more workers. File does not connect. We're getting into the main base once again, but there just aren't enough Lings here. Yeah, good control here out of Geralt. His workers, they turn around, they fight. GG, good luck gets called. And Geralt will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, a solid performance, solid defense there from Geralt. Even though he didn't see the Roach Warren, he was preparing defensively anyway. Void Ray first, not an Oracle, second Pylon, Shield Battery. As I mentioned before, Snogstar, he is a very aggressive player. And if you scout a gas first, which was scouted, it was very wise of Geralt to just double down on defense. Even though he wasn't really sure what was coming his way, he knew that something crazy would be coming, and yeah, was ready for it as a result. Did take it. GG. Well played. My condolences to Snogstar. He is going to be eliminated from the tournament. He is going to be eliminated. But a good run nonetheless, and entertaining games. GG. GG, well played, as we are now getting ready for our semi-finals. Just do need a moment. Just need a moment for the players to set things up. And do we have any other updates? Let's find out. As we do switch our scenes over to that challenge bracket, and there we go. We have some updates here. We have our final semi-finalist at the very bottom of the bracket. Bappy, he was able to take down Aristory 2-0. We have our top 4 players here, and these were the top 4 that we anticipated. It's going to be a Laser versus Cristiano here towards the upper semi-finals, and we also have Geralt versus Bappy in the lower semis in a PvP. Here we go. This Geralt is weaker than the Geralt from Netflix. Is that true? Is that true though? Is that true? Maybe because Geralt has shaved. Maybe that's the case. But when he has his mustache, that's when he's at his full strength, full power Geralt. Let's go. Bappy's a player. He is a player. Yeah, he is a player. He's one of the best Protoss in Poland. He actually made it to the finals of this event, I believe, last edition. Let me just double check. I believe in House Cup number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Bappy did make it to the finals, and sorry, number 3. Yeah. We had Bappy. He actually took down Art. Oh, Art is missing. I just noticed. He took down Art 2-0 in the semis. He took down Rodzin, just flexing his PvP, and yeah, Bappy. He went to the ace match against the Laser. Went to the ace match, all the way to game 5 in the finals of the House Open Cup number 3. So Bappy, he is definitely a force to be reckoned with, but what I will say is that Geralt is a very strong contender as well. I mean, all the players here, really. Cristiano, Geralt, Bappy, a Laser. But the game is still, can anyone stop a Laser? That is still kind of what we are looking at. What we are here to determine. I was joking about Carol. Nobody is weaker. Aye. They may be able to redirect a laser with a mirror. Ah, maybe. Ice-Tan, is that you? What's the puns back? Aye. Well, the wordplay. Shaking my head. So the players are just currently conducting their vetoes. Players are on those vetoes for now to determine who faces off against who. We will be having predictions. Predictions will soon be open for the semi-finals, so you can get your gamba on for all the gambling addicts in the chat. You'll be able to place your bets on who you think advances on to the grand finals. We'll be setting that up momentarily. Until then, though, it looks like we're going to be going on a short break. It looks like our players, they need a little bit more time. I don't blame them. It's all good. Need a little bit more time. Take this moment to get some water, get some rest. Hydra, set your roaches, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our first semifinals. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back again. Only a small moment to Hydras. A very short break here as we dive right into the semi-finals. The first of 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Team Blazer. One moment as I get those predictions going. It is Cristiano. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the best Zerg player in all of Poland, representing Team Liquid. It's the blue Zerg. It is a laser. And if you're in the chat, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to place your bets on who you think is going to be our first finalist. Is it going to be a laser, the favorite player, or is it going to be Cristiano, a player that has taken maps and taken series off of a laser in the past? But again, he needs to be on point, he needs to be in form, he needs everything to go his way here if he wants to cause that upset. It's happened before. Can he do it again? Here we go. As the probe is going to be coming in for a bit of a scout. Hatchery already been taken here. A laser getting into his hatch gas pool. Standard open out of a laser. I don't think we really expect a laser to be the aggressor this series. A laser is typically a more reactive and a very greedy, very macro-oriented player in a lot of matchups. To a fault at times, we've seen a laser just skip spores and skip lings and double down on drones and take a lot of economic damage, you know, just because he's sometimes too greedy. That has happened before. Players have abused him for doing so in the past. We'll see if that happens again. As this probe is just being as annoying as possible. Tasing away at those drones. Behind this, Cristiano getting into a standard opener. It's going to be a gate expand into the cyber core. This should be leading into a Stargate opener. And I'm curious if Cristiano has been spreading his wings. He's been going for the same builds over and over again. These past couple of weeks we've been casting him in this matchup. We've been seeing a very tech-heavy style from Cristiano. Very similar to what we saw from Ziomek. I mean, they're both on Team Blazer, so it makes sense. But if you remember, if you were here for Game 1 of Ziomek versus Trifax, you would remember Ziomek going for a Stargate opener into a third base, into a fast robo. And with that faster robo, he got into an Immortal heavy composition. He went Charged Archon Immortal and moved out across the map with a death ball of an army. And we have, to be fair, to give Cristiano credit, we have seen him kill a laser with it before. I think it was maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Oh, sorry, maybe it was last edition or 2 editions ago. We've seen him do it before, but like, it's, if you remember in that on that day of StarCraft, I think Cristiano did that same build 3 games in a row. And over the course of the series, a laser kind of figured it out and was able to shut it down a lot more easier with a much more efficient style, game after game, after it worked once. So it's something that I don't think you can rely on too heavily, so that's why I'm curious as to what a laser brings to the table this time. Sorry, what Cristiano brings to the table this time. From the side of a laser, again, we should be seeing just some droning from him, getting his queens up and running, working towards his third base. Everything is looking pretty normal so far from the side of our Zerg player. Meanwhile, it was a Stargate opener into an Oracle. Oracle is moving out to harass, to get some economic damage done. Behind this, we should be taking a third base. There it is. Third is on the way. Oracle has arrived. It dips in between the bases. Gets one drone kill before getting the hell out of there. Taking a little bit of hull damage. One worker is okay for now. We're going to be able to regenerate those shields, rotate around, head towards the third. Queens are in position. We'll see if a laser can keep his mineral line safe and sound. We now have 2 oracles, 2 workers. Sorry, 2 oracles do one-shot workers. So this is going to be much more threatening here to the mineral line. The queens are in position, and we do not test fate. We do not get into that third. Oh, never mind. We go back in. We like what we see, and 2 drones go down. We get a third worker as well. Nicely done. Nicely lined up shots. One of these oracles did take a lot of damage, but we do escape, and back at home we have a third oracle. So it's a triple oracle opener into a third. This should be leading into a forge and +1, and there it is, a very standard transition. This is what I wanted to see. Cristiano working towards +1 and blink. Now this is as standard gets in PvZ. Nothing fancy. Triple oracle. We have 5 adepts moving out. So they're going to be harassing across the map. The low HP oracle is back at home to defend, so we're safe against a link counterattack, and now we're looking for some economic damage. A laser. How many links do we have? We have 4, not too many. Adepts are making their way into the natural, focusing down as many drones as they can. And so far, 4 workers, not too bad. Getting up to 6, 7. 8 workers, and we get even more in the main base. Oh my god, again, a laser was so greedy, cutting corners, delaying his link production. We get 12 drones for 5 adepts. Well worth it, especially considering adepts, they don't scale into the mid game. We want to get rid of the adepts sooner rather than later. The oracles, they try to go back in, but they don't find damage in the main. Laser's in position behind this. A laser, he's amassing a road ravage army. He's sending his queens across the map. We're all in. A laser, he doesn't care about his drones, not anymore. We're completely all in. Everything is being sent across the map, and Cristiano now knows. He throws down shield batteries, throws down that stasis trap as well. I forgot what it was called for a moment. Oh my god, but does Cristiano have enough? He's working towards charge, not blink. And slow lots on their own. We even throw down a proxy hatch. Oh my god, a laser. Looking to have some fun with this. He knows that he has just an overwhelming army. Spreading creep, trying to, there we go. He does manage to spread creep here by canceling that hatchery. File's going to be connecting. Shield batteries are too close. 2 of them are going to be going down. 1 of them at least overcharges pop, but we barely have an army. We barely have anything left here for a laser. Sorry, for Cristiano. Oh my god. Look, it's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the morning. Lings, they have arrived. File's going to be taking down the last of the site defense. No more shield batteries, no more cannons. The oracles are doing what they can, but there are just too many queens. And Cristiano, he was just far too greedy behind this. He had completely saturated this third base. Gone up to over 20 workers compared to his opponents. And he just does not have a standing army. Again, no blink either. He had to invest into these stalkers that just don't have any upgrades because we went into charge instead. And GG gets called. A laser will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, a really good amount of economic damage. Don't get me wrong, it was beautiful what Cristiano was able to get done there. But behind it, he had probed up to 65, 66. That's basically 3 base saturation. And because he was working towards charge lots, the problem there is that it takes a while for charge lots to really get going. They thrive a lot more in the mid game once you are able to amass them alongside Immortals and Archons to support. Little did he know that he had to rely on Stalkers to defend against an all-in like that, and again, without Blink, significantly weaker of an army. Cristiano, he ended up investing into an upgrade that, Cristiano ended up investing into an upgrade that he wasn't able to make use of there in that defense. And with that, a laser takes a lead in this series, and now we're going to be getting it. Oh, apologies. There we go. And now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Número 2. Again, it wasn't a bad start from Cristiano, but the follow-up was just a little bit too greedy, and it took him a little bit too long to recognize what exactly was going on and the all-in that was occurring. He was caught with his pants down. The pants, they were down, Bobby, they were down. Here we go, we're getting into our next game, potentially the final game of this series. Personally, I hope not. I want this to go all the way to the ace match, but it's not on me, it's on our players. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Team Blazer down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Cristiano. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Team Liquid. It is a laser. Here we go. Laser sending out his drone. Going to be going for that hatch first. Hatch gas pull opener here from our Zerg player, just like the previous game. Everything looking as it should. Meanwhile, across the map, Cristiano likewise going for a gain expand. I expect things to look pretty similar to the last game. Again, the opener from Cristiano was pretty solid and pretty standard. Going triple Oracle into the third, into some Adept Harass, into those 5 Adepts across the map. It did well for Cristiano in game 1, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar here in game number 2. I say that, I mean, now that Cristiano, he's down in the series, he may feel prompted to mix it up. He may feel the pressure to try to mix things up here against a laser and try to do something a little bit more aggressive. That is definitely possible. We'll keep our eye on Cristiano to see what he brings to the table. And how aggressive he does intend on being. But now, Overlord is coming in and we're just getting a read on it. Getting a read on anything, everything even. Just to make sure that we're on the up and up. Oh. Here we go. And yeah, even in that last game, we were able to see, and Laser showed us that he's willing to be the aggressor as well. I mean, to be fair, Laser was forced all in because he had taken so much economic damage. It was very natural for a Laser to just not try to catch up in the economy, but instead just send it. Just pull the trigger. Say, okay, you can kill all my workers. You know what? I didn't want them. I didn't need them anyway. Just all in, buddy. All in. Showing us that, hey, if push comes to shove, a Laser is willing to get down and dirty with you. Filthy, buddy. Aye, aye, aye. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. It is going to be a Stargate opener from Cristiano. Should be getting into an Oracle. The Void Ray openers are very viable, and that's also an option. Don't get me wrong. Let's see what we go for. It is going to be the Oracle, though. Again, very similar to the previous game. Should be getting to double, maybe even triple Oracle, and in towards the third base. But really, it's what comes afterwards. That's what I'm interested in. Do we go for a Twilight Council? Do we go for a Forge, a Robo? What exactly will the follow-up be? So now Laser, he fans out his links. He's trying to get a read on when exactly the third base will be taken. Probe is already in position. Oh. And we do get eyes on it. As the Nexus is thrown down. Meanwhile, across the map, the first Oracle does arrive. Queens are in position. Good stutter stepping here from a Laser, but 2 workers will still get picked off. 3, actually. The Oracle will slip away. Here comes that second Oracle. We have a third one in production. And so far, everything looking just like the previous game. Gonna be checking that triangular third base. Going for the mineral line, but there are Queens in position. We're going to be able to shave off some of that whole damage though, but we do get another 3 drones, even a 4th. 4 worker kills, 7 in total. Not too bad. 7 drone kills for nothing, essentially. So good trades here, and there's that follow-up. It's going to be the Forge and Twilight Council. Now, if you remember, last time I assumed that this would be +1 and Blink, but we ended up going into Charge instead, so I'm curious. I'm curious which one we do go for this time. As the Laser's moving out once again with 5 Adepts and his 3rd Oracle. So, yeah, everything is being played out the same way as the previous game. And I don't blame Cristiano because he did find success. Like, it was a solid start. It was a solid opener. There we go, the Adepts, they have arrived. The Lings are still in production. And a Laser is going to be able to focus down quite a lot of these drones. We commit to the shade. We focus down up to 9, soon to be 10, soon to be 11. 12 drones, just like the last game, and we can even get a little bit more. Cristiano dealing even more damage this time. Up to 20 drones. Oh my god. The efficiency. 20 drone kills, 3 Lings, 1 Overlord, and what has Cristiano lost? Oh, about to lose. Never mind. Oh my, it escapes. 4 HP. Only 5 Adepts have gone down, and this time we're on Hecate. Oh, as we even get a massive stasis trap in the main. Catching almost every single worker. Cristiano pulling a Laser apart, and this time, because we're on a larger map, because the rush distance, of course, is a little bit longer, we have a winding path, a Laser is not going all in. Instead, he's droning, taking a 4th base, and he's trying to recover economically. So this time, Cristiano, he can get into his game. This is what he wanted in game 1. He was denied it because of the all-in. And again, we didn't get to talk about it, but hard lead has a very short rush distance by ground. All-ins make a lot of sense on hard lead. This time, though, can we get another drone? Oh, the transfuse! The Oracle is going to go down. Finally, an Oracle will fall. But we have even more where that came from. Another stasis trap in towards... No stasis trap. We just go for the drone kills. Another 2 at the third. And we're going for the 1-2 punch. Behind this, we have 3-base saturation, 66 drones. We're cutting workers here at 3 bases. We do have a 4th in production. But behind this, here comes the Warp Prism. The Warp Prism, the Archons, the Immortals. We're getting ready for a push. We have crippled the economy. You can see the worker count is even between the players, which is always a better thing for the Protoss. Cristiano, he's looking to snowball out of control. Can he pull this off? Big Link counterattack is going to deny the 4th. Just as Cristiano pushes. He's going to have to cancel, and this means that Cristiano, he's that much more committed. Lings, more and more Lings, though, moving out, getting ready for a big counterattack. Do we recall back home, or do we commit? Uh-oh. Do you have a defensive orbit? The Immortal! The Immortal does get surrounded. Shield battery is not here. It's not in position. Immortal goes down, and we do recall back home. We're committing with this attack, though. We're getting on top of the Queens. The Oracles do recall. We have Zealots at the natural. We are breaking the 4th base of a laser. Drones did escape. But this hatchery is going to fall, or will it? We do have a couple Lings coming from behind. The juggling. Do juggle these Archons, but it looks like Alasia, he will hold on to his hatchery, or will he? He will not. Hatchery does fall. 9 drones go down. Drones, they will survive. Some of them will, but not all. 11 more workers go down. Alasia, he's knocked down to 4 hatcheries. Cristiano still trying to get his own 4th up and running. It is on the way. Overall, I would say this is turning out a little bit better for Cristiano. It's a shame he lost his Immortal. If he didn't, then he could go for the kill. But he has to wait for that Immortal to be rebuilt. Another big Link counterattack. But this time we're in position. We clean up the Lings. 4 probes go down, but here we go. Cristiano, he's pushing out with his entire army. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 25 roaches. That's a pretty good amount of roaches. Oh, we cannot trickle in. Zealots are being knocked down. One after the other. Where's that Immortal, by the way? Zealots trying to come in for a flank. Good control, though, out of a laser. At the same time, though, we do send a Zealot run back here towards the 4th base. And can we break the 4th of a laser? We need our Archons. Come in, Papi, come in. Where's that Immortal, by the way? The Immortal is still back at home. Apparently, we don't need it. We get 16 drones, though. The stasis trap will go off. We catch another couple of workers. It looks like we are breaking on through. Cristiano is snowballing out of control. He's done so much economic damage throughout this entire game. We still have Zealots wreaking havoc at the 4th. At the 3rd, even, the 4th will go down. And it looks like Cristiano is going to be tying up this series. Again, this is what Cristiano wanted to accomplish in Game 1, but he was denied because of the all-in. And now he can finally spread his wings. He can finally get into his build. And it looks like there just isn't enough here from a laser. Oh my god, the roaches, they're just getting pinned in. There's no way out. GG gets called, and Cristiano will tie it up. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. Now, one, I'm excited that we do have an ace match, but I'm also a little bit concerned. Cristiano, he has done the same thing 2 games in a row. At first, he failed. At second, he succeeded. I'm concerned if he does it again. I'm fine with the opener, don't get me wrong, but I would be assuming that a laser will be going for a less greedier style. What I mean by that is that last game, again, the reason why he lost, remember, he lost 20 drones. Without only killing the adepts that were harassing, a laser, he lost 20 workers, which was wild. Like, the economy of a laser was already in shambles from the beginning. Like, Cristiano, clearly, when it comes to his harass, he's on point. But a big reason for this is because a laser does cut corners. I mentioned at the start of, I think, the previous series even. I was talking about how, even this series, I was talking about how a laser, he often delays his lings. He delays his lings, he relies on 4 lings and his queens to defend, which is why those adepts got so much damage done. I'm hoping that a laser makes more lings earlier on. I'm hoping he adjusts. Otherwise, he's going to be punished. Again, we'll see. And again, a laser, he's a greedy boy in PvZ. It's greedy, Papi. And here we go. We're getting into this. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Blazer. It is Cristiano. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Poland representing Team Liquid. It is a Laser. Okay, the Laser, he's the best Zerg player in all of Poland. But he's up against the wall, and we have seen Cristiano take maps before. Again, taking maps from a Laser isn't unheard of for Cristiano, but can he go the distance? Can he take the entire series? That would be something special. Here we go. Cristiano going for his probe scout across the map. Going to be getting confirmation, of course, that it is a hatch first. Despite a Laser dropping a map in this series, still going for a standard opener. And I'm really just curious about Cristiano. Is he going to be going for the same overall builds? Are we going to be seeing, triple Oracle into the 5 Adepts, into Charge Lot Archon? Now, Side Delta has a long rush distance by ground. It is long. Longer than Hard Lead. Winding it back, again, the reason why the all-in from a Laser works so well was because of the map. The map here is going to be working against him, not just because of the long rush distance, but also because we have a ramp leading into the natural. Like, this is a very defendable natural base. The third, sure, it's a little bit more exposed. Depending on your positioning, you can be caught off guard. That is true. But overall, I do feel like a longer game is going to be required here from a Laser. Again, hopefully it doesn't cut as many corners this time. We'll see. We shall see. As for now, hatch gas pool from a Laser. Cristiano back at home. Gate expand into the cyber core. Everything's normal. We have the pylon being thrown down further, closer towards the edge of the base. This should be a Stargate opener. Cristiano, he is unfazed. He should not be going for anything crazy like a Glaive Adept opener. And there it is. There is that Stargate. And I'm not opposed to getting into his opener, into his Oracles and Adept Harass. Every game, even the game that he lost, Cristiano has been just having his way with the economy, with the worker counts, the mineral lines of a Laser. Or even denying this expansion. Fun fact, usually, because you have Lings, you're able to DPS down that pylon and get your expansion up and running. But because a Laser cuts corners, and because he only made 2 Lings, the DPS would take too long, so he's forced to take the triangular third instead. So a delayed third here from a Laser. Depth is going to be threatening the bases. Ling speed is on the way. Queens are coming out. There it is. For the first time this series, a Laser, he is making a wave of Lings. Quite a lot, actually. Oh my god. 12 Lings are on the way. A Laser committing quite hard to this. Are we going to keep making Lings? I am curious. Or is he just trying to play this out safely? There it is. The Lings, they have been revealed. And Cristiano, he's racing back home. Behind this, Oracles have hit the field. Okay, it looks like we only have Lings for map control. This is something that Laser has been lacking this series, but he's made it this time, which means these Adepts should not get out of control. So a Laser respecting Cristiano. Looks like this probe is going to be shut down as well. Oh, just barely get picked up. Oracle gets across the map. And the Queens are in position. Oh my god, the Oracle taking so many more hits this time. Only gets 1 drone kill. Oh, I spoke too soon. We get 2, we get 3, we get 4. 4 worker kills. Not a bad start here for Cristiano. Now the downside is this. We get a surround. Ooh, 1 Adept is going to get picked off. And we're going straight for the probe. A Laser being far more active this time with these Lings. Delaying the third base, delaying the expansion. Oh, the Oracle taking a lot of damage. Barely does escape. But you can see that Cristiano, he himself is having a much harder time getting into the mid-game. A much more shakier start here because of how late his third is. As a result, he hasn't been able to be active. He wants to be. There we go. 5 Adepts, triple Oracle, we're moving out. Now, what do we have at home to defend? We are making another... Once again, we're making an extra wave of Lings. This is something that was lacking last time. But Laser, he's investing in Lings, making sure that the Adepts don't get out of hand. Aware that Cristiano has been getting too much economic damage done so far this series, and he wants to stop it. go. The Lings going to be chasing the Shade. Adepts do not commit. They are dragging the Queens out of position, and now these Oracles, they can come in from behind. There we go. They go for the mineral line. Ooh, but they do not get damage done. And Cristiano, he backs up. So, there's been a bit of a give and take. This time, Cristiano, he doesn't deal anywhere near as much economic damage. Like, he's killing some extra drones here, which is good. Oh no! Oh, a bit of an overextension. Some miscontrol there. Cristiano turning back around to kill one more drone. He gets punished for it. And now Laser has map control. And Laser, he's pushing. He's going for an all-in. Queens are moving out. They catch another Oracle, and we're sending everything across the map. Meanwhile, Cristiano, he's taking up so heavily. Robo, Forge, upgrades, Templar Archives, once again going into charge, not blink. And I don't think Cristiano can hold against this. It's going to be a tough hold. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Cristiano just taking up so much here. Stage traps are being just baited out. And again, it's taking a little bit longer for this to get across the map, but we have a creep being spread. Ravagers have arrived. Decent force fields. Cannons are finishing. These cannons putting in a lot of work. And here comes the first Immortal. Can we hold on? Can we survive? Overcharge is pop, barely keeping the cannons alive. And we are forcing back the first wave. We have to be very careful here. Very delicate micro from Cristiano. That overcharge putting in so much work, but the cannon, the first one does fall. And we have bought enough time for the first Immortal. First Immortal has arrived, but we're getting in. We're closing the distance. The Archon goes down, and there's barely an army left. There's still one cannon remaining. The shield batteries, they're running out of energy. They are running out of steam. We depower everything, or we depower the shield battery at least, and the cannon. And it looks like a Laser just has too much. Dives on top of the army. Shield batteries are not good enough. He's going for the Immortal. Oh my god. Immortal barely does get out of range of those of those vials. Robo is depowered. It looks like we have broken this third base. This was a better defense this time from Cristiano. It was better, but still not good enough. As the Robo falls. Again, we're trying to rely on Zealot Warpins because we have charge. We recall here to the third base. Not ideal. 16 workers go down as well as the Nexus. And it looks like a Laser has done more than enough damage. Behind this, he's droning. He's droning, saturating his bases. Cristiano going to try and get another third base up and running, but a Laser, he's there to stop it. He's there to punish it. Will force a cancel. Cristiano, he's just knocked down to 2 bases. We're even spreading creep here outside the bases of Cristiano. Just making it that much more difficult to expand. And again, a Laser just recognizing how hard he can punish this build from Cristiano. Like, investing into charge when you're defending against a 2-base all-in, it's just not ideal. It's not the unit you want to be working with. And essentially, he's forcing a 2-base all-in out of Cristiano. Here we go. We are moving out. I'm going to be able to deny some of this creep at least. Robo is being rebuilt. We don't have an observer. As we move out, the Lings, they move in. No! The wall. Oh my god, that was so close. The wall is looking solid. We force another cancel on this third base. Not the best fight, actually, from a Laser. Forcing a second cancel on the third, though. Ah, that was brutal. Cristiano, he does clean up a lot of those Lings, but behind this, a Laser, he's on 3-base economy, he's on 63 drones, and he's double expanding, getting a 4th and a 5th base at the same time. Looking to just max out on Roach Ravager, even investing into Hydras, just so he has some anti-air. Lings, they come in once again as Cristiano moves out. And Cristiano is just being pulled apart. He can't attack and defend at the same time. God, that hatchery, sorry, that Nexus getting so low. And here it is. It's all or nothing for Cristiano. Obviously, a Protoss army can trade more efficiently, that is true, but he has half the army supply. He can't trade that efficiently, or he shouldn't be able to trade that efficiently. Of course, things would be a little bit different if he had, say, Disruptors or maybe Storm. Storm a little bit less so in this situation, just because Roach Ravager is quite sturdy, quite a beefy army. If we did have a couple of Disruptors, then maybe that'd be a different story, but as it stands, we have Charged Archon Immortal. Okay, we're gonna try to commit, we're pushing in. There's no turning back. We are getting on top of the Ravagers, but the Biles, oh my god. Biles are going to be connecting. We do clean up most of these Ravagers, though. This army is so fragile for a laser. Not enough roaches, to be honest. Oh, Biles are connecting. We are cleaning up almost every single Ravager, but you can see here that here come the Roach reinforcements, and the Roaches, that's what we really needed. Honestly, that was a pretty efficient fight from Cristiano. He reset the Ravager and Hydra count, which was impressive, but GG gets called. It's still not enough. And a laser will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to a laser for advancing on. My condolences to Cristiano, but at the same time, did go to the ace match. Impressive. And to be honest, he looked pretty damn good in both game 1 and game 2. Here in game 3, was struggling to get economic damage done, was struggling to really make his opener worthwhile. And as we saw, a big weakness when it comes to his build, because he's going into charge and being so tech heavy, is these 2-base all-ins. These 2-base all-ins, they just brutalize Cristiano here. We've seen it now 2 games here in this series, and yeah, he just doesn't have what he needs here to be able to hold on. This was a stronger defense this time on side Delta compared to hard lead. It was a stronger defense, don't get me wrong. But even then, it just still was not enough. Again, Zealots in that situation are just... They don't cut it. They do not cut it. Ooh. And with that, that is our first semifinals in the books, and we're going to be getting ready for our next semifinals. A laser's waiting in the next round, and who is going to be facing off against a laser? That is the question. Who will face off against him? Will it be one Protoss player or another? Is it going to be Geralt or Papi? Oh boy. Who's it gonna be? Here we go. As we are gonna be setting that up. Vetoes are currently underway. So it's gonna take a moment for us to get this going. But up next, we do have a PvP to determine who faces off against a laser. Both Geralt and Papi, they're strong players in their own right. Geralt, Papi, Mana, Cristiano, Arts, all these Protoss players are amazing at what they do, and they're all pretty interchangeable. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, but they're all some of the best that Poland has to offer. So we are going to be taking a small break here. Going to be going on a short break while our players conduct their vetoes, and when we return, we will have our next semifinals. See you soon. Take this moment to, again, hide your Hydras, tuck in your Tempest, cuddle your Colossus, and marinate your Marauders. When we return, PvP. See you soon. See you soon. Welcome back everyone. Hope you enjoyed that brutal OST because we have returned with the lower semi-finals. And predictions in the chat are open. Predictions are open for the next 2 minutes, so place your bets on who you think is going to advance on to the grand finals. Will it be one Polish Protoss or the other? Up to you. Up to you to decide. And here we go. Oh, I think they're asking about Atlanta. Are we going? Are we going, Papi? Oh, he's not going, no! But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardland. We have, oh, that's, I don't understand that much Polish. If anyone has any translations in the chat, let us know. In the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of Poland representing Berserker Esports. It is Papi. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Polish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is Geralt. There we go. Again, just asking. I get that. Thank you for the translations in the chat. Do appreciate it. Dziękuję, Papi. Dziękuję. Gracias. As apparently what was being said is that Geralt was asking Papi if he was going to be going to DreamHack Atlanta because he had signed up, but apparently is not going to be going. A little bit too expensive, a little bit too pricey. I don't blame him, but at the same time, yeah, I guess a reminder: DreamHack Atlanta is next week. Next week is DreamHack Atlanta. If you happen to be native, if you happen to be traveling, hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft celebration in the Americas that is going to be upon us next week. And if you happen to be in Europe, if you're maybe a little bit upset that maybe it's a little bit too far away to travel to the Americas, to travel to Atlanta to be part of DreamHack, hey, you got IEM. You got IEM Katowice coming up in a couple of months. So you have another opportunity to, again, be a part of an offline event. So do consider it. Do consider it. I'm sure it'll be an amazing time. Until then, though, we are getting into our PvP, and so far we have 2 gate openers all around. We have a 2 gate opener here from Papi, we have a 2 gate opener out of Geralt, and we have our units of choice. Geralt wants to be the aggressor, going double adept against Papi's double stalker. Here we go. With these 2 stalkers in a head-to-head fight, Papi, he will be able to come out on top, and he'll have a more kind of robust setup here getting into the mid-game. As I say that, Geralt, he is doubling down. We have not just 2 adepts, we have a 3rd and 4th adept on the way. We could even go up to 6, even 8 adepts behind this, depending on how hard Geralt wants to double down. As the adepts, they do get across the map. Gonna be threatening a shade. We do wall off in time. Papi, he's ready. He's set up for it. He does deny the shade. But we still have more adepts moving out. Again, the goal of these adepts are to deal economic damage. They do get behind the mineral line. They will shade the hell out of there, meeting up with their reinforcements. Again, we are now up to 4 adepts. With 4 adepts, we can actually go head-to-head and fight these stalkers, by the way. We can try to focus them down, and it looks like we will. Commit to the shade, and 1 stalker is going to be forced out. Behind this, we went for a sentry follow-up. The sentries, they are quite fragile units, but what they do bring to the table, the value that they add in PvP, is the hallucination. Hallucinated scouts are king here because they can get a full scout. Meanwhile, the adepts, they shade in. Ooh, they will get into the main, and they can focus on the sentries. Oh, it looks like they will get 1. They'll get both sentries, and Papi, he wasn't able to scout whatsoever with them. That was the whole point. 4 probes go down, and these adepts, they're getting a bit out of hand. 2 adepts will shade out. They will be forced out, but again, Papi, he doesn't know what's coming up behind this. It is going to be Blink and 3 gateways. Nothing too fancy, but Papi just doesn't know that. Doesn't know how aggressive, how defensive, or how passive Geralt is being. As Geralt does take a worker lead. Looking at the unit source tab, that was 6 dead workers in total and 2 sentries as well, so a good amount of damage was dealt. Geralt is now up 4 probes as a result, and he's getting into Blink Stalkers. Likewise, Papi is doing the same. We're not done! No, we shade in! And it only takes 2. GG gets called. We shade into the main base, and Geralt will take a lead in this series. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Just far too much damage there. Again, we just weren't able to keep up. The fact that we also lost the sentries meant that Bapi was playing blind. He was in the dark, and it was just too much. In a mirror matchup, we cannot afford these mistakes. We cannot afford to fall behind. Not this much, not this quickly. And Geralt takes a 1-0 lead. Does take a lead. So we're getting ready for game number 2. Ah, Bapi. And I'm hoping that we can get an ace match. I'm hoping that Bapi can fight back and tie us up and get us into game 3. Game 1 was a bit disastrous. You know, things went from bad to worse very quickly. The adept harass was just too much to handle. We'll see how things change in game 2. I want to believe. I do want to believe. As game 2 is going to be taking place on Golden Aura. I'm getting ready to smooch. The Doomer light is out. Also, totally not because I'm giga tired. It is 6:20 a.m. in the morning here. I'm probably gonna be going to bed at like 8 a.m. at this point. It's smooch. Let's go all the way. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of Poland representing Berserker Esports down in this series, but looking to fight back. It is Bapi. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the other Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is Geralt. And again, things escalated very quickly out of control in that last game just due to the adept harass of Geralt. Again, committing quite hard to it and achieving so much as well. That's one of the dynamics of PvP, is you need to be able to keep up with the shades, with the adepts, with the aggression of your opponents. Otherwise, things can, again, end very quickly, very suddenly. It can just slip through your fingers and get out of control. But now, though, once again, 2-gate opener out of Bapi. We have a 2-gate opener out of Geralt. We do see Bapi a little bit paranoid. He's going to be scouting around his bases. He does check his 4th base location, and he's looking to throw down a fake proxy pylon. Here we go. So a bit of mind games are coming in. This is something that you can do and is quite prevalent in PvP. Basically, the first probe is designed to scout your opponent and to see where the second pylon is. And you can see the second pylon is missing. It's thrown down here in the mineral line for Geralt, but it is not to be found in the main base of Bapi. So this can be a proxy, or it could be a fake proxy, which is what Bapi is doing. So against some mind games, just trying to get into the head of his opponent, trying to force a bit of inefficiency out of Geralt. And after being down in the series, you know, Geralt would believe that he might be being cheesed and might be being all in. And you can see here, Geralt, he is looking for that proxy pylon. He's going to be scouring the southern portion of the map with that probe. Another probe could be chasing Bapi out of the bases. Behind this, we do have an adept opener, which has been spotted. Adepts, they do take down the scouting probe. Stalkers are moving out. It's going to be on Bapi to try to bypass these stalkers, to sneak by them, to slip on by them. But it looks like they won't be able to pull that off. Oh, as Bapi, he is going to be found out. Damage is going to be done. By a number of hits across the map, Geralt does actually finish up a pylon. Expansion is being taken, but you can see that Bapi, he's actually locked out of his own natural. Stalkers have arrived. Probe is going to be going down. At the same time, we do threaten the shade, but we do wall off in time. Oh, we're trying to break through. It looks like we barely will. Up. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel, but it costs us an adept, and there's a shield battery in the mineral line. We will not get any worker kills. As both players are going to be taking up in towards that Twilight Council. Now, thankfully, the Nexus has a lot of health, so Bapi is going to be able to hold on to his natural. Does force Geralt away. Does force him out. But did that? Oh my god. And as a result, the dust is going to settle. Now, as it does, we can kind of take a moment here to take stock, and what I will say is that Geralt has a very late expansion. It's a very late natural here, so Papi will take an economic lead. We'll see if he can hold on to it though, because Geralt, he's applying a lot of pressure. He's here with his army. We have plenty of stalkers to defend, and Geralt is being forced back. Behind this, Geralt also has a slightly faster blink. I do think that he can take advantage of this, and yo, he doubles down. He's going for a Dark Shrine. Dark Templar on the way. Detection is going to be required. Papi, he does, I believe, have a sentry. If I don't, no, never mind. Wait, what? Did I see things? He did have a sentry, but it got focused down. Ay. A big pickup. Looks like Geralt was able to shut down at that sentry ahead of time. Papi moving out with the stalkers. As he moves out, we have Adepts threatening a shade towards that natural. Papi does turn around in time. And thankfully, he does have a robo in production. So Papi, he may not have been able to scout. He doesn't really know what's coming his way. But with this robo, he should have access to an observer. As we're going to be committing. Oh, not quite. Not yet. Sorry, it's just closing the door. My apologies. But the Depths, they do finally commit into the natural base. It looks like they're going to be able to get not quite any workers. They do keep and maintain our economy. Dark Templar are on the way. Proxy Pylon, the fake Proxy Pylon was shut down, and the real one is getting work done. We're getting to work. Dark Templar are on the way. Ooh, Geralt bleeding out a lot of stalkers. He does get caught out. Meanwhile, the Observer has arrived. Papi, he still maintains his economic lead, and he shuts down the first Dark Templar. So far, Papi securing himself here, looking strong. Doesn't have Blink, but it's about to finish up. +1 attack is on the way. So far, this tech from Geralt just has not paid for itself whatsoever. And there's that third. Papi extending his lead. He already has an economic lead. Now he's going straight for the third base. So is Geralt back at home, trying to keep up with his opponent. For the time being, Papi is ahead. He has the better economy, he has the better army, and he will soon have an even better army with +1. But there's always the potential. There's always potential for damage. Geralt still has one Dark Templar on the map, and if at any moment Papi moves out, if at any moment he is out of position, these DTs, they can pay for themselves, and then some. Meanwhile, we dive on the Stalkers. Stalkers are going to be focused out at the same time. DTs come in for some harass. Observer's in position. Adept's going to be coming in as well. There's a lot of pressure right now on Geralt. There's a lot of pressure to kill workers. We can see two Stalkers being dragged out of position towards the right-hand side. The Adepts, they shade in. They shade into the main base, and probes are going to be falling. Oh, God, they're turned around. They're forced to fight. And so many probes are going down here. 5, 6, 7. We're going to get an 8. 8 worker kills. Ay. And just like that, in one fell swoop with 2 Adepts, Geralt, he evens up the worker count. He takes a lead, actually. This entire time, Papi's been ahead. That is no longer the case. No longer, as Geralt, he does take a massive economic lead. It does bleed out a little Stalkers, though. Does have to be careful. Good blink here from Papi, chasing Geralt down. As Geralt, he's getting his third base up and running, fully operational. You can see here in the units lost have that Papi has been taking better fights overall. Again, he's got +1, +2 is on the way. Geralt doesn't have a single forge. Okay, no, there we go. He does have a forge. +1 just now starts, but this is a massive upgrade disparity between the two players. In these head-to-head fights, Papi is going to be favored. But so far, Geralt's outpositioning his opponents. Takes down a Pylon and a Stalker. Good pickoffs. Yeah, this is what we need to do. Geralt, he needs these hidden run tactics. He can't afford to lose units though, so he does bleed out one more Stalker. As we see Geralt backing up for a moment, refining his army with charge lots. We do see Papi a little bit faster when it comes to the tech. He's going into that Templar Archives. This will be for Archons. That will, of course, kind of supersede and trump the trump the Zealots of his opponent. Geralt trying to squeeze out that hidden base here, going for the gold. Oh my god. Papi's gonna check. He doesn't. He cleans up the gateway. He does not check the Xel'Naga. And Geralt, he is potentially going to be getting away with this gold base. That is a good way to come back. But will he survive? Geralt is supply blocked. Uh-oh. 4 pylons are on the way. Big supply block for Geralt. And Papi's pushing. Before Geralt can even think about saturating this base, he has to hold on to his own 3 bases back at home. Here we go. The army has arrived. We do have a big wall of Zealots. We have the shield battery. We have the overcharge. But Archons are getting in position. I mentioned this before, but again, Papi with these Archons, he can annihilate these Zealots. Rotating around, getting a better angle of attack. The Archons are pushing in. Big Archon shots going off here on these Zealots. The Stalkers, they are breaking through Papi. He does have that big upgrade advantage, as we mentioned earlier. Big snipe! The Prism goes down, but the army of Geralt is crumbling. It is falling. We have detection. Even Dark Templar will not be enough, and it looks like Papi is looking to force the ace match. He's looking to force game number 3. He has been snowballing out of control, breaking on in. Blinking to the mineral line, cleaning up what little there is left. And sure, Geralt, he might be mining from this gold, but it doesn't matter. Not anymore. GG gets called, and Papi takes game number 2. GG. Oh my god. Again, a much more solid game here from our Polish Protoss player. The other one. And with that, we have an ace match. We have a game number 3. Vámonos. Going all the way. And again, a big reason for this was the economic lead that Papi was able to get earlier. What I mean by that, as we're getting into our next game, what I mean by that is that Papi did have a faster natural base, he had a faster forge, faster +1, better saturation, and of course, we also had Geralt investing into Dark Templar, which did not pay for themselves. They did not deal enough damage, or barely any damage actually. They killed a pylon, if that. So, yeah, things were just not going Geralt's way. Things were starting to take a turn for the better for Geralt when he was able to kill those 8 workers, when he shaded into the main. But by that point, his opponent, Papi, had already kind of reaped the rewards of the better economy for so long that game. Tying up the work count at that point was enough to maybe try to stabilize, but what was being done with that economy, with that money, we were investing into a gold base, into more workers, when his opponent was pushing out. Again, resources invested in something that would not help in the defense. And here we go. We're now getting into game 3. It all ends here on Oceanborn. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Berserker Esports, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. It is Papi. Senor Papi. Let's go. Papi versus Geralt. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to game number 3. So far, it has been back and forth. I mean, game 1 was a little bit one-sided, not gonna lie, just because of the momentum that Geralt gained from the beginning. But it feels like Papi has been able to adjust and adapt over time, over the course of this best of 3. And again, it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this final game. So far, 2-gate opener out of Papi, 2-gate opener out of Geralt. Everything is looking normal, everything's looking as it should. There was a period in time, there was like a month-long period where every PvP Geralt was investing into a proxy Stargate. We see that that has fallen by the wayside and Geralt isn't really investing into proxies, but Papi is. Because that is a proxy pylon. And we're committing. Let's go. right next to the main base of Geralt. What are we going to be proxying? This is not a bad position for a Stargate, but if we're throwing it down this close, we may as well double down. And there it is. It's a Stargate opener here. As proxy Stargate out of Papi. This, oh my god, it's Geralt. He locks in the probes. Oh my god. Those two probes are locked in by the pylon. The pylon is going to finish as we have to recall the probes to the other side of the pylon. The shenanigans. Ay. That means we actually don't have access to this mineral patch behind. We have to go the long way around instead. So annoying. Jesus. And here we go. The first two adepts are moving out. We are going to be shading across the map. Likewise, we have adepts from Papi as well. The Stargate is done. We should be getting into Oracles, going right for the mineral line. There it is, Oracles on the way, but we're supply blocked. Oh, there we go. We're supply blocked only for a moment. As we will commit to the shade. So far, Papi coming out a little bit better in the trade. But additional adepts are coming out. With the help of the Stalker, with the defender's advantage, looks like we shut down the first adept. And that's already massive. It takes 2 adepts to one-shot a worker. Geralt cannot find a way in. Meanwhile, across the map, here comes that first Oracle. We do have a shield battery and 2 Stalkers in position. Geralt, he is ready for this. Ay. Yeah, already dealing some hull damage. So far, this has not been worth it. But we do have a second Oracle on the way as well. This is looking quite solid, though. Again, this is the problem with proxy Oracles, is that one shield battery nullifies the power of the Oracle already. So this was a big investment here from Geralt. Sorry, from Papi. And he's got to make it worth his while. Meanwhile, Geralt, he is taking up into a Twilight Council. Twilight Council's on the way. Should be getting to faster blink. Second Oracle has arrived. Oh my god, we just go straight for the middle line. No, the rally! Oh, and the Oracle goes down. A big pick-off. Ay. Papi falling apart a little bit here. Adepts are going to shade into the main base. That is nice. We do pick off a probe at the same time. Stasis trap into the main. But we only get 1 probe. 3 workers go down. This was okay, but we do need more damage, going for a second stasis. Denying a little mining time, to be fair, but only 2 probes. Behind this, might be trying to get into this. He does take an economic lead, getting into his own blink. The game is stabilizing from here. There was a big loss for Papi, a really big loss when it comes to that second Oracle. But he is looking to even things up. Meanwhile, we do have the proxy pylon being shut down. Can we get on top of the adept? We can! Ooh, both adepts go down. It may not seem like a lot, but losing 2 adepts this early on, we barely have anything to work with. Every unit counts. So Geralt bleeding out a bit of his own. Oh, getting the hell out of there. You can see that Geralt, he's looking for the proxy Stargate. He knows that there's a proxy Stargate somewhere. He is looking, and he will finally come across it. Third base is going to be delayed. Stalker's getting in position, and they will catch. Oh, we'll catch the Oracle. Get a volley off. The Stargate has yet to be spotted. Oh my god, it's still hidden. We see Papi taking his own third base behind this, getting into blink Stalkers, and the game is going to be settling down. Overall, I would say that Papi's in a slightly better position. You can see here that he has a higher worker count, a higher Stalker count. Blink is finishing up at around the same time, despite the fact that Geralt got a faster Twilight Council. Because the Oracle Harass, it was delayed. And once again, faster forge from Papi. Even though I'm saying that he's ahead in all these different metrics, these are slight advantages, not the biggest of leads. Ooh, as Geralt is out of position, we pick off a pylon, we pick off 2. Forcing a cancel on the second. Nice moves out of Papi. Geralt having a hard time keeping up, but now he's stationed back at home. Should be able to defend. We can see Papi very quick here to keep taking charge on the way. Robo, additional gateways. Eventually, we should be working towards Templar Archives for Archons as well. Bobby just securing himself. Meanwhile, we had a stasis trap in the main base. Only caught one probe. Stargate finally has been spotted. Is going to go down. Finally, it will fall. You know, these oracles, they've been a thorn in Geralt's side. Have added value here. Again, the gateway explosion is upon us. Something that we haven't seen yet here from Bobby is, again, that Templar Archives. Just doubling down, throwing down 4 more gates. It's going to be 8 gates in total. Geralt's going into a different direction. Okay, so there's that Templar Archive. So Bobby's going to be pushing out when he gets Archons. When he does get into, I want to say 2, maybe 3 Archons, that's when Bobby's going to be pushing. Meanwhile, Geralt is taking up even further. That is a second Robo and a Robotics Bay on the way for Disruptors. Let them shade in, they get 2 worker kills. But Disruptors on the horizon, and that is kind of the end game here of PvP. I say kind of because really it's like Skytoss's late game PvP, but Disruptors, they can just add so much value here to your army. Stalker Disruptors, what you want in the mid game. And Geralt is cutting corners to get there. Stasis trap is going to go up. But we don't scout the main. We don't see the tech. And there it is. Disruptor production has commenced. Going for another stasis trap. Up. Getting another probe. And Bobby, we need to push now. Here we go. Prism is on the way. Archons are morphing in. And Bobby, he's sending it. He's going here and now. And he is going to run into 1 Disruptor. He's going to run into 2. These 2 Disruptors are going to finish up just in time. And the Charge Lots, Immortals, and Archons are not very mobile. Bobby, he does have a supply lead. But can he actually make use of it? Could be reinforcing. He still has not seen those Disruptors. See if he can break his opponents. The War Prism can help juggle and keep some of these high-tech units alive. Disruptors, they've been seen! Immediately we do back off. Nova goes off, taking down 3 of those Zealots. Stalker's trying to push on through, but upon seeing these Disruptors, yeah, Bobby backs off. Does rotate around. And he's working on his 4th. +2 just now starts up, and from here we may just have to invest into our own Robotics Bay. And Bobby just backing off completely at this point. Again, he knows that he cannot push into this. Not anymore. Trying to push into Purification Overs is one of the most difficult things you can try and do here. So it's going to retreat, clearing up some of these rocks. The goal here for Bobby should just be to contain and deny the 4th. Zealot Runby slips in. We're going to try to distract the army. We do have the War Prism going into the main. So Zealots into the natural, big warp into the main base, and the main army pushes towards that 3rd. Again, we're trying to pull apart his opponents. Gateway's going to be going down. We can go straight for the Robos. Zealots are being cleaned up. We're trying to work through this production buildings. We're getting a 2nd gateway. Not the best pickoffs here from Bobby. Nova's go off. We do barely avoid them. 1 Archon goes down. We do take down the Twilight Council, but the Prism falls. Big pickoff. War Prism does fall. You can see Bobby trying to get on top of the main army. He just cannot. He's being cleaned up. The Disruptors are becoming exposed, and we get 1. 1 Disruptor. But Geralt, he's dealt with everything else. He can focus on the main defense. And Bobby has to respect the army. He has to back off. The Immortals are going to go down. Bobby is being overwhelmed. And Nova's go off as well. Shaving off even more Stalkers. Geralt, he's gotten through the worst of it. That was a very chaotic defense. And Geralt didn't really lose too much. He lost a Gas Geyser, Gateways in the main. The Twilight Council, sure, but you know, what's important did stay alive. Big Nova. Again, Zealots, like, they have a really hard time splitting against these Purification Novas. Novas, they go off once again. They will connect. We do pick off the Disruptors, though. Big pickoffs here from Bobby. He snipes the Disruptors. He snipes the Immortal as well. Bappy turning this on its head. Really good snipes here. Behind this, Bappy, he does have the slightly better economy. He's working on a 5th Nexus. Meanwhile, Geralt, he's still on 3. His disruptor count was reset. He's building it back up, making 2 disruptors at a time. Meanwhile, Bappy, he backs off. He's licking his wounds. Rebuilding. Dark Shrine on the way. Interesting choice here. I mean, there are a lot of cannons at the 3rd, but there's potential for damage in some of these other bases. And the main base is exposed. The natural has 1 cannon. We can maybe try to dive on top of it. We'll see. We'll see what Bappy's able to accomplish. We have the War Prism moving over towards the left-hand side. Main army of Bappy pushing towards the right. How many disruptors? We have 3. We're soon to have 5 disruptors. My god. Now, the goal here, once again, I imagine, is for this prism to distract the army, and then the main force can come in and ideally deny this 4th base. Oh, Geralt out of position. He's moving out. As he moves out, here comes the main army. Prism into that main. We go for the DT drop. Overcharges forward. We do force a cancel on the 4th base. Cannon is barely going to go down. Nervous go off. Decent connections. Oh, you can see that the main army of Bappy is crumbling before these disruptors. The Immortals are doing what they can. They're going ham here on the Stalkers. This Immortals putting in a lot of work. Nervous go off the splits. But Bappy, he's being overwhelmed. He has to back the hell off. He recalls back home. And meanwhile, the DTs and the Zealots and Dark Templar, they got cleaned up. And it looks like that wasn't really worth it for Bappy. He plummets in the supply. And again, you can see that Geralt, he just has the better army. He just has the more efficient army with disruptors. He's still on 5. About to have 7. And Bappy just hasn't been able to break his opponent. He's been trying. He's been trying to pull Geralt apart. Dark Templar waddling in. We don't... Okay, we do have a backup cannon. We're getting into the main. Ooh, no detection here in the main base. Here we go. The DTs, they do wreak havoc in the main base, getting the entire mineral line. At the same time, we go for the 4th again. Containing Geralt, crippling his economy. That's a kill, not a cancel. Meanwhile, the DTs are going for the robos. Going for the facilities. Bit of an overextension here from Bappy, but he's trying to distract the army. 1 robo goes down. It looks like we're going to be able to get the 2nd. It's going to be close. He gets it. An observer has arrived, but we are getting so much done. 28 probes go down. We blink to the low ground as well. Never goes off. Ooh, but it even deals some friendly fire. Probes go down. We're down to 33 workers. Geralt, his economy is in shambles, but Geralt has a bigger army. His main army is still looking terrifying. How many disruptors? 7. 7 disruptors, 7 purification overs. And Geralt is going to be forced all in. As he tries to move out, another Dark Templar. Oh, they're just forcing him to stay at home. And there's no staying home. We gotta go. Geralt, we gotta push. And he knows it. He knows he has to move out. He deals with the final Dark Templar. As he gets ready to move out, we have Zealots getting ready to push in. Bappy is remaxing, rebuilding. Look at this army. 4 Immortals, Archons, plenty of Stalkers. As long as he's able to avoid most of these Novas, he should be okay. Bappy has a massive... Oh, God, no! No reaction. Big connections. A big chunk of Zealots and Archons go down. Some of the best connections that we could have hoped for. More Novas! They don't quite get the Immortals, but we pick off so many Stalkers. That's 30 supply in the drain. But it looks like that's all that we had in the chamber. We dive on top of the army. There's only 2 disruptors left. And it looks like Bappy just has far too much here. It was a good fight out of Geralt. He got the most he could out of his army. But it's still not enough. And it looks like we will be having a rematch here. As Bappy, he's getting a 6th Nexus. He's got double the base count of his opponent. Which is crazy. Oh my god. In a mirror matchup. He's waiting for reinforcements to come in. Upgrades are on the way. And Papi, he's just making his way up this ramp. Nova's going to be going off. Not a bad connection. It looks like there's just too much Protoss, too much blue Protoss here. Papi's snowballing out of control and he's going for the finals. He wants that rematch. Wants to go all the way, wants to go the distance. GG gets called and Papi will be taking the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god. Things were looking a little bit dire initially. Remember, we had Papi for a long time that game desperately trying to pull apart Geralt, and the first Zealot and Archon drop into the main was lackluster. It was like, remember, that was the drop that killed 2 gateways. It killed 2 gateways in the Twilight Council and didn't really kill too many workers. No important tech went down. Really, things started turning in favor of Papi with the DT run by into the main base. Even the DT warping at the natural was not really worth it. Like, we saw him kind of be shut down and we saw Geralt take a supply lead. But when the DTs got into the main, they eviscerated the economy, they shut down the robos, they stifled the disruptor production. And it wasn't just that in conjunction with the fact that Geralt could not take a 4th. He was trying desperately, like 3 or 4 different times, to expand and take a 4th base, but he was contained time and time again. Could not move out, could not expand, and eventually he was pulled apart. It did take a lot of work though. It was not easy. It was not easy for Papi to pull off. He was trying time and time again, and he failed more often than not, but when he succeeded, boy did he succeed, as eventually he was able to break through, and GG, well played. Ooh, congratulations to Papi. I see in the chat, that was tense. It did feel like it was on a knife's edge. Like, I do feel like if that DT run by into the main base didn't deal as much damage as it did, then Geralt would have held and would have snowballed out of control. Like, that was a pretty pivotal moment, I feel. But from there, congratulations, Papi does advance on, and we have our finalists. Oh my god, the vetoes are done. Oh, give me some time, Papi. Give me some time. I was singing your praises. Hold on. Un momento here, as I still have to pay out predictions. Only 2% bet on Papi? No, the payouts. How could you not have faith? 98% in favor of Geralt. Oh my god. Jesus. Have faith in Papi. Have faith. As we are getting ready for our next series, for the grand finals, you can hear the beeps as we are loading in to the final series of the night, to a best of 5 between a Laser and Papi. Here we go. This is a rematch of, I believe, the House Open Cup number 3, if I'm not mistaken, where they did face off in the finals. And for those who maybe weren't here a month ago, for House Open Cup number 3, a Laser and Papi, they went to the ace match. They went all the way to game number 5. So we had a really close series last time they faced off. Will it be close again? That's the question. Obviously, a Laser still coming in as the favorite player, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Best of luck. Best of luck with your predictions, with your gamba. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Berserker Esports. It is Papi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have, oh my god, we have the Polish Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Team Liquid. It is a Laser. If you're in the chat, 2 minutes to place your, less than 2 minutes now to place your bets, so get them in while you can. And obviously, to reiterate, a Laser is the favorite player. A Laser, he is the best Zerg player in Poland. He is one of the best players, period, in Poland. I would say that a Laser is top 2 alongside Spirit. I think I still would put Spirit above a Laser slightly, but regardless, they are the best players that Poland has to offer. And we have seen upsets. We have seen a lot of the Polish Protoss players beat a Laser in the past, like Cristiano, Geralt, and even Bobby. They've all taken maps, and on a rarity, they have taken series as well. Like even in the semifinals, bearing in mind, a Laser, he has dropped maps already in this tournament. He has dropped maps. But losing a series is a different tale. You know, it takes that much more to just be that consistent and win consecutively here against a Laser. Bobby, he's taken maps before, but can he take the series? That's something that I don't think Bobby has done in his career. I'm curious. We have the power. We have the technology. I'm looking it up. As we're getting into our openers, gate expand into the cyber core here from Papi. We have a hatch gas pool out of a Laser. Everything's looking normal. Standard openers. Standard openers. As let's have a look here. The head-to-head between the Laser and Papi. I'm gonna be shocked if Papi has actually beaten a Laser before, like in a best of. I'm curious. Let's have a look. And Papi, he has taken maps, but yeah, as to be expected, he has yet to take a series here. Again, the best that Papi has performed against a Laser was a month ago when they faced off in the finals. So, Papi clearly in form here compared to years past. Is going to be going for a Stargate opener. Is going to be going for a Void Ray first from this Stargate. This has been becoming more popular recently, just because it's a really good way to shut down these Overlords and to keep the Zerg player in the dark as to what you're doing next. This could be leading into Glaive Adepts, this could lead into Skytoss, could lead into an Immortal-based all-in, or even standard play. There is a lot on the table that can come out behind this. So what does Papi have in store for us? What are we going to be going for? Void Ray's going to be moving out again, hoping to hunt down some of these Overlords. Now, interesting choice. Basically, the goal here is Papi. He's going for the Overlords that are further out on the map, because this Overlord here is a confirmed kill. Like, there's no way for this Overlord to escape. So we're trying to get as much value as we can, trying to catch some of these more closer Overlords to the bases of a Laser. We get one, and we're going for a second, and we should be able to get a third Overlord kill. So 3 Overlord kills for 1 Void Ray is pretty damn worth it. And we supply block a Laser by quite a lot, actually. Oh my god. 4 Overlords on the way. 2 of them have gone down, and we should be hunting down this final Overlord. Papi, he's aware of its location for the most part, and should be able to come across. Barely misses it. Just barely. Oracle comes in, 3rd base is being taken, and this Overlord that was supposed to die so far has made it out. It lives. Oh, I spoke too soon. Up.
We need
up. Overlord, suck it in. He's just it's not up. As he finally does get caught out. And again, 3 Overlord kills, pretty good here from Papi. For those wondering, if Papi had killed this Overlord first, it would have given a Laser a heads up, and he would have pulled back with the rest. He would have pulled back the remaining Overlords, and he would have been able to keep them alive. So again, a very calculated effort here from Papi, and does get a lot of value. Behind this, his 3rd base is getting up and running, and it is going to be a Twilight Council and a Forge follow-up. I assumed it would be Blink, but no, it's going to be Charge. A much more committed, more aggressive follow-up here from Papi. Should be Charge Lots into Immortals into Archons. Very hefty, well-rounded army composition. It takes a while to get going, but once it does get going, boy, does it take a lot to slow down. There it is. There's that Templar Archives for Archons. 2 Oracles make their way into the main, but the Queens are in position, and so far Laser, he's been able to maintain his drone count. Has been struggling when it comes to the Overlords, but maintaining those drones. Ooh, rushing into this 4th base, prioritizing that Rich Vestine Gas Geyser. Oh my god, a Laser gonna have so much gas to work with. He's cutting workers earlier on. We have a wave of roaches on the way already, and I think we're committing. 3 drones are okay. We're squeezing out a couple of workers. A Laser, he's still working on the lair. Okay, we shouldn't be pushing without roach speed. We shouldn't be, but we're working on it. The creep highway is upon us. Rocks are being knocked down. And here we go, Laser. He is going to be committing. He is cutting workers at 57. He made an extra wave of drones. He made an extra 3 workers. But that's it. That's all he's working on. That's all he's working with. He's all in. It's essentially a 3-base all in. Technically, this is just under 3-base saturation, but because of this rich vesting gas geyser, it makes up for it. And here we go. A Laser sending everything he has across the map, and Papi has no idea. The wall is not a wall. It's wide open. The Lings, they get into the natural, they get into the main base as well. Everything is on fire. Pylon's gonna go down. We depower the Robo. The Immortal will not come out. A nice feedback. Storm is not done. And we barely have a standing army. We have crippled some of the production as well. It is depowered. 25 probes for every single worker in the main and the natural. GG gets called, and a Laser, he snowballs out of control, taking game number 1. GG. With a 57 drone all in. Again, a very low worker count, lower than normal. Usually it takes around 66 workers to actually, or 60 to 66 workers to make that push work. But again, that rich vesting gas guys are coming in clutch, and yeah, it just took a little bit too long for Papi to recognize what was happening, to realize how much danger he was in. And very similar story. We spoke about this during the Cristiano series, but these players that prioritize, these players that have been going for charge-based openers, they are so vulnerable to these all-ins. It just takes a little bit longer for this army composition to really get going. To get into a critical mass of Zealots and Archons and Immortals and Storm, like, it's very tech heavy, and it just takes a little bit too long. I say it takes too long. It takes a while to kick in, and these all-ins that Laser's been whipping out, they're designed to punish a player that is in a way being a little bit too tech heavy and a little bit too tech greedy. So GG, that's our first game in the books. But that was merely game 1. It's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. As it looks like we have our second game, we're going to be loading into Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. Okay, now Laser asserting himself in that first game, being the aggressor in game number 1. And he has been quite aggressive tonight. Again, this is not the first time we've seen him go for an all-in. We did see some queen walks and some all-ins earlier in the night against Cristiano, against another Protoss player. And here we go, we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Berserker Esports down in the series, but it's a best of 5. We got plenty of games ahead of us. It is Papi. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. Up 1-0 in this best of 5 finals. It is a Laser. Here we go. As so far, we are just settling into our game here. Oceanborn is a map where we can be that much more aggressive. I would say that the likelihood, if Papi goes for another charge follow-up, the likelihood of a Laser going for a queen all-in across the map is much higher on Oceanborn. So I would hope that Papi goes for a different follow-up here. He had a good start, like the Void Ray did get a lot of Overlord kills and did supply block a Laser quite heavily. So yeah, had a good start, but again, was caught with his pants down when it came to the follow-up. So we'll see how Papi does adjust over the course of this series and what else he brings here to a Laser. For now, hatch gas pool, save that open out of our Zerg player. I'm keeping my eye on this probe. It's taken a really interesting route across the map. In that it's not going across the map at all. We're heading out here. We're going for a proxy pylon. This wouldn't be a bad location for a proxy Stargate. You don't get to see proxy Stargates too often. Personally, I'm not too fond of it, especially when it comes to getting into a longer game. The reason why I say that is because I feel like your Stargate production is actually pretty important. When it comes, there it is going to be proxy Stargate. Because in this matchup, it is not uncommon to invest into 3 oracles, right? Into triple oracles to protect your third base. And if this gets found out, it can be quite easy for the Zerg player to punish this and to shut this down. And then suddenly you don't really have oracles to defend back at home, or you have that much less to work with. Likewise, eventually Skytoss transitions are ideal, and we're not going to have that tech available either. So it's a really risky move here out of Papi. We'll see if he can make use of it. We'll see if he can make it worth it. As the goal here is to get into faster oracles and to get into these mineral lines a lot faster as well. Oracles are on the way. Until then, though, we see a laser just droning, getting into his queen production. He's got his 4th hatchery on the way. Everything looking normal from the side of our Zerg. Papi looking to take his third base on location here. A little bit greedy, not gonna lie. Never mind, he makes another oracle. Okay. And F do shade in. It looks like we get 3 drone kills at the natural. The oracle comes in from behind, going straight for that natural as well. We're gonna get 3 more drones, getting a 4th even. Oh, almost. 6 drones in total, not bad. Not a bad start here from Papi whatsoever. A laser recognizes that, of course, there is a proxy. We dive on top of the pylon. This is what I was worried about, and it looks like this Stargate is going to be depowered. We cancel the 2nd oracle. Only 1 oracle gets made, and this is what I was worried about, where if you go for a proxy Stargate like this, you leave your production vulnerable, and with only 1 oracle, we just spent our energy, by the way. Expanding is going to be so difficult, we may just go for a 2-base all-in. Like, oracles are almost necessary here to protect this third. You can see a laser. He rotates. He's checking for that nexus, looking for another base. And Papi, he throws down a Robo and a Twilight Council. Now, we can still expand. This could just be a delayed third, but the longer this goes on, the more likely it becomes that Papi is going for a 2-base all-in. Oh, we're taking up so hard. And it looks like we should be trying to expand. Things are getting in position. They go straight for the probe. They get 1. Up. They get 2 probes. Ay, ay, ay. Big delay here on the third base. Behind this, oracles are coming in. Queens are in position. We force a cancel on the stasis trap. The laser going to try and drone as hard as he can. Third base is thrown down. And the laser sees everything in the main. He sees the Twilight Council and the Temple Archives. Should be aware of charge lots soon to be on the way. Papi going for Archon Harass though. Okay, I dig it. Lings are coming in for a counterattack. There's a lot of potential with these Archons, and we need that potential to come to fruition. We need to kill drones. We need to somehow slow a laser down, kill workers, trade against Lings, kill queens. We are going for the queen. Last Chance Fuse does keep it alive. But we have plenty of shields to work with. We're going for the Warbin of Zealots as well. These are slow lots, by the way. Slow lot's going to be waddling on in. And it looks like we do get 1 of the queens. Oh my god, the Archons, they break through. They don't quite kill any of the workers. They do evacuate in time. Well, these Archons getting very low. You have to be careful. Oh my god. Yes, the Archons are going to be saved. We dive on top of the queens once again. We do not get them. But a good trade. This was a very nice trade here from Papi. He picks off 20 Lings, a Roach, a Queen, an Overlord. Not too bad. And he only lost 4 slow lots. I'm a little bit surprised we still haven't invested into charge. It's still not being researched. Papi's still hyper-fixated here on his Archon Harass. Behind this, he's building up his Archon and Immortal counts. Forge is on the way for +1. And he has a very high-quality army. There's not a lot here, but This can become terrifying. This can become scary. As we get the Archon drop into the main. Oh! Looks like we will take down another Overlord. Deny the Overseer. The Queen's in position. We have to be careful. Overseer coming in for the scouts. Let's get eyes on the tech. Archon drop continues, by the way. Again, Archon drops can be so difficult to deal with. As we can see here, it's gotten so much value so far. Still looking for more. Meanwhile, oh my god, that's going to be a Roach drop into the main. Is spotted. That's been spotted here by Papi. But we ignore the army, go straight for the main base. Roaches, they're going to be dropped in. At the same time, drop a lord here outside the natural. Still slow, lots not ideal. Takes quite a bit to try to keep up with this, and yeah, we can just pick up and drop here at the third. Oof, Papi being pulled apart. Not like this. I mean, to be fair, these roaches haven't actually done too much damage. They're keeping Papi busy, but they actually haven't killed too many workers. Haven't killed anything, actually. As the Archon jump into the main, gets 2 more drones, forces lost mining time. And a laser, it's gonna eventually get out of here. A laser? Okay, we gotta leave, Papi. Roaches will evacuate. Meanwhile, oh my god, 10 drones go down to the Archons. These 2 Archons have been the MVPs here for Papi. They've done so much. They've killed, together alongside the Oracles earlier, 19 drones. The Queens, the Roaches, they finally recall back home. But a laser, he is looking to max out. Building up his Ling Roach Ravager army, but he's going to be pushing into how many Immortals do we have? 6. 6 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. And all these Archons as well. We can take a fight. You have to be careful not to overextend. Roach drop coming in, another Ling drop here into the natural as well. A laser going to try and pull apart his army. Here comes the main force, going right for the natural base, and Papi, he's out of position. Cybercore goes down. I'm sure we were just looking to warp in Zealots, to be fair. Oh, the force fields, they get thrown down once again. The roaches, they're just melting. Oh my god. It's a meat grinder. So many roaches go down, but at the same time, we have Lings in the main. We have roaches here at the 4th base. Probes are falling. The economy here of Papi is being crippled. But does he care? Because we have triggered Papi. He may have lost so many workers, but he's sending everything across the map. And here we go. Papi, he's committed. He is almost all in at this point. Workers still going down at the 4th. That is 42 Banelings on the way. Oh my god. That's a lot of Banelings. But against Archons, here we go. The Banelings are going in. And they will connect with the army. Good splits here from Papi, actually. Oh my god, avoiding so much damage. And now he can push in. We need some juggling, though. 1 Immortal goes down. Papi, he needs to end the game with this push. There's no turning back. Here we go. Zelda coming in to reinforce. We're getting on top of the Ravagers. Biles once again going to be connecting. Oh my god. Softening up those Immortals. Ravagers are falling, but earlier we had, what, like 7 Archons. We're down to 1. We're running out of steam. And it looks like a laser may just have too much. The Biles! Ooh, the Biles, they take down the prison. They deny the warp in, and it looks like a laser, he has too much. He cleans this up. It was all or nothing for Papi. And GG gets called. A laser takes game number 2. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. It was all on the line for Papi, and he was almost able to pull it off if only he hadn't lost his economy, if only he hadn't lost so many probes across the map. He was forced all in. He was forced all in, and there was potential with the move out. There was potential with the push, but alas, did run out of steam, to just lose a little bit too much, and again, he didn't have the economy to sustain that damage, to maintain his army. GG. And with that, a laser is 1 game away from becoming this week's House Open Cup champion. One more is all he needs. Ooh, and the pressure is on. Papi has to fight back here and now. As the sun has risen. It's up. I was kind of joking earlier when I was like, are we going to cast until 8 a.m.? Oh. Hello, Sol. Hello. Bienvenidos. I was casting when the sun sets, and I'm casting when the sun rises. Aye. Not like this. Let's go. We can make it. We can make it. Those wondering, I was casting last night. I say last night. Yesterday afternoon. With the IM Korea qualifiers, or the Asia server qualifiers. We did take a couple of hours break, and now we're here, of course, with the finals of House Open Cup number 5 and potentially the final game. Or can we force a series out of this? Can we fight back and even go all the way to the ace match? It's going to be on this player here. It's going to be on the Polish Pro Tours player representing Berserker Esports. He needs to fight back here and now. The pressure is on. It is Papi. Hi, Papi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Liquid, one game away from becoming this week's champion, from ending it all. It is a laser. The sunlight just hit light. Oh, it did. We're going for the gold. This is something that's very common in the ZVP matchup here on Equilibrium. It is very, this is a very, I don't know if I want to say safe base, but you can actually secure this base without too much issue. It can be quite difficult for Pro Tours players to actually punish this gold. Not impossible, but difficult. Papi, he does scout, and immediately he goes for a proxy pylon. He's cannon rushing. A forge. It's going to be a gate forge opener here. The goal here is to deny this expansion. This is not the most committed proxy. Sorry, not the most committed cannon rush. We're going to be expanding behind this. This is a macro cannon rush, at least for now. And here we go. Cannons are soon to be on the way. The Overlord does scout the pylon. And what do we do? How do we protect this? It looks like a laser is ready to cancel. Are we gonna cancel? Oh, we're pulling the boys. Oh my god, a laser. He wants to try to hold on. That is 3 cannons on the way, by the way. And here we go. We're getting on top of the first one. We should be able to maybe force a cancel on the first cannon. We do get some decent service area, but the cannons are finishing, and drones are gonna go down. Oh, there we go. The first cannon does fall. Lings are coming out just in time. Lings are falling though, and this is too much. This is, yeah, like the drone pool was just a little bit too late. It's too far away. We kill 6 workers. The cannons, they survive. They take down the Overlord, and we have another cannon on the way behind this. The Lings will eventually clean this up, but that was a brutal trade. A laser supply blocked. After losing that Overlord, he does get supply blocked. Another cannon does complete. And the laser, he's down to 13 drones. Only 2 workers saturating this natural. And again, he cannot make any more until these Overlords finish up. And I mentioned before, this was a macro cannon rush. It was a gate forge, not a forge first. So a gate forge opener leads into a nexus. So this was just designed to get damage done. Ideally, this was supposed to force a cancel. This was supposed to cancel the goal base. Instead, we finished it, but still, a laser lost 7 drones here in the defense. So Papi's in a good position. Now, the downside, though, is that because it was a gate forge opener, the tech is delayed. The Stargate's delayed, Warp Gate is delayed. So Papi has to recover in other aspects. As this even like gives Papi a bit of scouting information. As a laser, he's redroning. Now, I wonder, obviously a laser took a big economic blow early on, but because this is a goal base, and because it's now fully saturated, you could make an argument that a laser, he is recovering a lot faster than he otherwise would. And I think I would agree with that. I do think that, again, because the goal base is now kicking in, we're recovering. We're catching back up. Oh god. Queen doesn't quite have the range to deal with that pylon, unfortunately. Link speed is on the way, and this is usually what happens. So if you're rushing into this goal base this early, ideally you want to make use of it. And here we go, a laser. He's cutting workers. Cutting workers here at 29, and we have a lot of links on the way. We just made an extra wave of drones, so I'm getting some big signals. I assume that we will be hitting a timing with link speed, and we do have a lot of links on the field. But we are still squeezing out a couple of workers. But the links are moving out, and this forge is looking exposed. A lot of surface area is available on this forge. Drones are on the way behind this, so we're not going all in. Oracle does dive into the main, though. We only get a little bit of damage done, though. Only one drone. Here come those lings. There is no shield battery. There is no overcharge. We get on top of the forge. Its adept is barely going to go down as well. And with that +1 attack is going to be denied. Not a bad pickoff. From here, I feel like, oh, we're going to be committing. Oh my god. Trying to force our way in. Zealot goes down. The probe as well, but we will be cleaned up. But denying that upgrade, pretty good pickoff here for a laser. Pretty damn good. Behind this, he does saturate the Rishvesian Gas Geyser and the main. And now we're getting back into mass ling. Roach Warren's on the way. A laser joins up to 38. Just made an extra 10 workers, essentially. Ooh, Bapi is trying to get into the gold. I don't think he can get this. I don't think he can hold on. Does he have any oracles? He has both are across the map. Neither oracle is in position. I appreciate the initiative here to try to take this gold, but alas, it's not going to happen. The Lings, they rock up and they're going to shut this down. They get a full surround on the Stalkers, on the Zealots. Everything's going to be cleaned up. The Oracles, they did get recalled back home. Oh, actually. Okay, with the recall, the Oracles, they do recall into the main. From here, we can actually defend the gold. We're holding on. It was a brutal trade for the Protoss. Not ideal, but it could be worth it. We do have some decent SimCity. Yeah, with these shield batteries and cannons, Bapi should be okay for now. Oh, the wall is solid. Roach Ravager is rallying across the map though. A laser, remember I said earlier, he cut workers at 37. He's only using this third base for larva. He's taking another hatchery. Once again, I imagine for larva. Roach Ravager has rocked up. We take down the pylon. We depower the stack defense. And it looks like a laser, he just has too much. He's going to be punishing this goal base. We saved it earlier, but we could only save it for so long. As a laser, he's snowballing out of control with his economy. And with his economy, with this all in. Again, did lose a lot of workers earlier, but he did recover. Thanks to that gold. And our keep highway is being set up. We have Zealots, but no charge. No charges available. The Lings, they do pull back. The Roaches deal with the Zealots. GG gets called. A laser has far too much to deal with, and he will be taking the series 3-0, becoming this week's House Open Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to a laser. He did come in as the favored player. He did not have the easiest road here to the finals. He didn't have the easiest road to the championship here, as Cristiano did make him bleed earlier in the semis, but it was only Cristiano that could make him bleed. Every other player did go down, and a laser looking strong. And of course he is. He's the strongest Zerg player, the best Zerg player in all of Poland. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to a laser. My condolences to Bapi, but what I will say, Bapi did well for himself making it here to the finals. He took down Geralt to do so. Geralt is no easy feat. I think I might go as far as to say that Geralt might be the best Protoss in Poland. I know that there's contention. I know that it's close between like Geralt and Christiana and Art and Mana and Papi. Like, they're all pretty close in skill, but Geralt has been achieving a lot this year and in years past as well. He has been growing a lot as a player, and he's been achieving a lot as a player. So for Papi to bring down Geralt, that was an upset. Remember, it was like, what was it, like 2%? It was like 2% in favor, like 2% of the people predicted Papi to win that series. So yeah, I mean, there's a reason for that, right? Geralt, he's more of a household name. He's on a bigger team like Sidestorm Gaming, so a lot more people know of him. So for Papi to take him down, to advance on, good stuff, good stuff. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Laser, and a big shout out to all the other players that didn't make it into the upper echelons of the tournament. And if you enjoyed some of this Polish on Polish action, then we got more of it coming up soon, TM. I mentioned earlier, but for those who weren't here for it, maybe wondering what is the H.4.0.S Open Cup? What is this? What does that name even stand for? I don't know. I don't know what it stands for. But this is basically an online bi-weekly tournament that is funded by a gaming bar. This is a gaming bar in the capital of Poland, in Warsaw. It is a gaming bar, and they have held offline events at this place, at this gaming bar in the past. They've held offline StarCraft events there in the past, and they plan on doing so again in January, in a couple of months, or next month. Yeah, we're in December. Next month, there is going to be an offline event held in the House Gaming Bar, and they're going to be inviting players based on their performances in these tournaments, in these online weeklies. Points have been provided to a lot of these players based on their rankings, based on their placings, and invites are soon to be sent out. So there's going to be a big offline, a big like kind of end of year finals essentially, and yeah, that's coming up in a month. And of course, we're going to be casting it here on this channel. Last time we had an offline finals, it was a great event to be had. We got to have like player cams, and we got to see the audience as well. And I think Indy got to cast it live. Danzig was there, or Danzig, and a bunch of other Zed and a bunch of the other Polish community members and casters and players, and it was great. It was great to see everyone together. If I remember correctly, it was a Laser versus Spirit in the finals, and it was double elimination, so they faced off in the upper bracket and the lower bracket finals as well, and they went the distance, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really great tournament. It was a very long event as well. It was a bit of a marathon of a cast. I think it was like a 9-hour cast. It was brutal. It was it's a big cast, Papi, big cast. But I look forward to doing it. I look forward to doing it again. I do look forward to it. Yeah. But until then, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thanks so much for the support. We appreciate it. Again, if you want to check out more of these events and check out more of the Polish side of things, I recommend checking out Kashim. Kashim, he is the admin and organizer of these weeklies, and yeah, a big part of the StarCraft scene. Big part. Big part. And with that, predictions are going to be paid out, and yeah, we're done. We're done for today. We're finally done. It is 7:28 in the morning. 7:28. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to get some breakfast and then go to sleep. I'll get some food and then go to bed. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we're going to be live in how many hours? Let me just double check the calendar. We're gonna be live in. I don't think it's on the TL calendar, but 12 hours. We're gonna be live in 12 and a half hours from this message. 12 and a half hours. We're gonna be live with the Hatchery Cup. Hatchery Cup number 10. A bit of a replay cast. It was an event that was held on Saturday, and we were supposed to cast it live, but there was a bit of miscommunication. And we missed the tournament. Unfortunately, we missed it on Saturday. I think we were casting something else, and we thought it was on Sunday, basically. We thought it was the next day. Or I think it was held on Friday. We thought it was going to be on Saturday. So we missed out on the Hatchery Cup, but we were provided the replays, and we'll be casting Hatchery Cup number 10 in 12 hours. 12 and a half hours. So we're going to be having a bit of a replay cast. After the Hatchery Cup, we're going to have a couple of hours break, and then we're going to be casting the IM Katowice Europe server qualifier. Oh boy, the European server qualifier is going to be upon us tomorrow as well after Hatchery Cup, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. We already wrapped up the Asia server qualifiers for IM Katowice. European ones are tomorrow in what, like 23 hours time? No, 22 hours from this message. 22 hours, basically almost a day from now. We have the, why is it so late? Why is it starting so late? That's like what, at like 5 a.m. my time? Yeah, it's at 5 a.m. But you know what? We cast everything here on the CranKy Ducklings. So what even is sleep? You know, just gotta get on that DGen sleep schedule. Let's go. So again, if Hatchery Cup isn't at a good time for you, again, in 22 hours, we got you covered with some IM Katowice qualifiers for Europe. There you go. There you go. So plenty of StarCraft. Plenty of StarCraft. Then of course that leads into WTL, and then the weekend. And during the weekend, we of course are going to be casting everything that there is to cast. IM WTL is this weekend. There's an OSC King of the Hill 24-hour stream that we're going to be a part of. Yeah. If you enjoyed the broadcast, exclamation socials in the chat. You can join us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Facebook socials. Watch us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Watch us on. We have all the VODs are on YouTube. We even stream on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, papi. So check us out. Check us out. Dzień dobry, papi. Dzień dobry. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Dziękuję even. Yeah, with that, bedtime. Bedtime. Hope you all enjoyed. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to raid. There's quite a lot of people live at the moment, so we'll find someone nice for you. And yeah, stick around. Give them a chance. Give them an opportunity. As we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. See you then. Hasta luego. Ciao. Ciao.